Alrighty, hello everyone. Here we are for our Extra Life June 2022 tabletop stream here at Negative Modifier, and we've got some
Our summer stream.
Yeah, it's a summer stream. That's why I have my summer themed attire, which is really just a shirt I go work out in. But let's just say it was thematic. So yeah, we've got you might see some new faces here. We've got some guests here today. But yeah, I'll let Charlie do our little introduction here. I'm just gonna usher this way on in here, so go ahead.
Sure, yeah. Welcome to the the Negative Modifier Summer Extra Life stream. As is our tradition for this, we'll be playing some Tales from the Loop with a unfortunate chance of some Delta Green breaking out, depending on how donations go. But yeah, so obviously, it's Extra Life. We're here to raise money for kids. Our donations go directly to the Portland Hospital in Portland, Oregon. Sorry, the Oregon Hospital in Portland, Oregon. The Dornbrecher, am I pronouncing that right? It's
Dornbecker.
long and very German. Dornbecker, sorry.
Dornbecker,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're enjoying the show and feel like donating, there's links down below. You can also go to negativemodifier.com, and that will redirect you to the Extra Life donation page. We have some giveaways to give through as well. If you want to enter into that, just add one. Donating to the Extra Life campaign gets you entered into the giveaway system. We have some cool stuff, actually, this year. We had some cool stuff last time we did it, too, but this year we have Delta Green books, Tales from the Loop books, and dice to give away. When I say books in Delta Green's case, I mean the physical books, the big dictionary-sized tomes that in typical Delta Green fashion could be used as improvised body armor or a 1d4 attack weapon if need be type of thing. But yes, we hope you enjoy. We have two guests. Which guest would like to introduce themselves first?
I'll introduce myself.
Go for it.
My name is Nick. I am the host of the Hidden GMs podcast, which is an interview show for game masters. And I'm excited about this stream. It seems like an awesome time. And these are both games that I am passingly familiar with. But if you haven't played these in the audience, I will be kind of learning along with you, especially Tales from the Loop I've never played. So.
All right, I'll jump in now then. I'm Danilo. I host and produce the Thinking Critically D&D discussion podcast, where we take a single word or topic and discuss what it means in the D&D and wider TTRPG framework. I've had Charlie on before to talk about horror, appropriately so. Yeah, just like Nick, I don't know what I have gotten myself into, so this should be fun.
There's nothing quite like a negative modifier stream to just dive feet first into both of these game systems in the worst way possible. But yeah, so we start off from Tales of the Loop. Tales of the Loop takes place in the 80s that never was. What does that mean? Well, two things. In our case, we're playing in the year 1980-something, meaning that Ghostbusters and Return of the Jedi and any other 80s reference you can make have happened recently enough that we're not going to spend a lot of time getting bogged down in what exact year we care about in that case. If we did more a kind of 40-form campaign of this, then yes, but for our purposes, it's the year 1980-something. And in the Loopiverse, the Loop discovered some technologies that allowed for kind of massive advancements in certain aspects of human development. It's not a across-the-board thing, though. So it's a setting where cybernetic arms and robots and flying cars quite do literally exist, but for the majority of people, they're a thing. But you probably don't own one. Like, most people don't own a robot. Most people don't own a flying truck. They're out there. They're expensive. They're high-end. And they're all made possible by some impossible technology researched and developed by The Loop. In our case, HCE Technologies, a company of, we'll call it reckless 80s abandonment and ambition when it comes to how they pursue things. But more on that later, and definitely more on that if we get into the Delta Green aspects of things. HCE stands for Hogan Carver Eagle Technologies, and we will take place in the town of Boring, Oregon, a real town with a real name of Boring. What's its sister city again? Like Normal or something?
What, the city in Oregon?
No, it's Boring. It's got some other. They've paired with a similarly ridiculous name sounding.
Oh yes, it's in Scotland. It's called Dole, Scotland. That's the sister city for Boring, Oregon. Yes.
Yes, and part of the fun of Boring is the fact that, despite having a name Boring, it has a surprising number of Bigfoot sightings. And a museum to it, even. So, felt like a perfect place for the Loop to happen.
Yeah.
So, the loop in these settings is these giant underground facilities. Not a lot of known, not a lot about them is known to the public. They're big, they're underground, they research weird technologies, and sometimes stuff just happens in the surrounding areas. If you know the Amazon show, you're kind of roughly on the vague same path. What we'll be doing with this, ours will be a little more upbeat than that. It's kids, it's fun. It's so the game uses what's referred to as the Year Zero engine, a system that is used by most free league games, and it's dice roll systems. Basically, you have to get one success to pass. There's ways of pushing we'll get into if people want to push rolls, but basically it's pass fail. You need one success in any situation to succeed unless it's really specific, and you can use extra successes to help your fellow kids out, buy some extra kind of bonuses that go along with things, but we'll get into that as we start playing. So our story picks up. It's the first week of summer. School is out. It's beautiful in Boring, Oregon. It's that nice northwest kind of not too hot, not too humid, early days of summer type of thing. It's that kind of picturesque thing that makes all the postcards that really just kind of sells Portland in the 80s. Portland in the 80s is a bit of a strange town, though, too, just as it is nowadays. It's the actual city itself is a wee bit dangerous. It's got some drug problems, it's got some gang problems, and thankfully the HCE chose to set up shop outside of the exact main town city, so it's sleepy, not a lot of weird things happen here. It's just kind of nice. Nice, out of the way suburban town. But you all find yourself as members of the Ranger Rick Memorial Cleanup effort. For those who were here for our last Extra Life stream, they met Ranger Rick, who has gone missing, is assumed deceased, and some local town busybodies have chosen to, in honoring his memory and kind of a memorial for him on his birthday, they've chosen to dedicate some time to what Ranger Rick loved best, which was kind of keeping the wilds around Boring and the town itself clean and hospitable for the various people that live there and the various animals to continue lifting side by side. As a park ranger, this all makes sense. His tale is something you can go look up in our previous streams for this stuff, and not super important to this, but yes. Why has everyone joined the Rick Memorial cleanup effort?
I guess I will start. So Ranger Rick was actually dating my mom. Um, she's a single mother, and she met Ranger Rick when she was trying to get me out to go sightseeing and seeing the town and all that. And they happened to start chatting, and they became a little more than friends. So even though I thought it was weird at first, I am here in a way to kind of just pay my respects because he did make my mom happy, so I can't be too dickish about it. But yeah, that's why.
All right.
So Beck is. Oh
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure. Tyson is kind of one of the popular kids. And according to rumors, because this is such a kind of community coming together type event, there is kind of some whispers that there may be some local celebrities showing up. And he is always curious to meet people of note in his small community. So he's there to kind of enjoy this opportunity as a who's who of Boring, Oregon.
Sure.
So Beck
Uh,
is one of the star players in the roller hockey team, but she also needs to get some of her volunteer hours for Key Club because she needs scholarships soon.
All right.
After you.
Yeah, Ronnie was actually dragged out here by Beck, his sister. He doesn't really want to be here, but he's going to make the most of it and make this a living hell for everyone else except for himself.
And Chips, or should I say Charlie, is it's just simple, just extra credit. I need a good CV. I wanna have those extra curricular activities on there to impress employers.
All right. Yeah, so you've all been kind of broken off into a small group. It's been randomly assigned. They kind of said, kids will hang out together. We'll stick them all together. And you've been assigned the now defunct Harper's Hardware store. The local mall kind of did a good job of doing in some of the small local businesses, unfortunately, and Harper's Hardware was never doing super well to begin with. But as a result of its kind of now vacancy, the parking lot and surrounding area have fallen into a bit of a disarray. People tend to just leave junk in the parking lot, and it's weird though. Someone has reported that the junk has been disappearing over time recently, but maybe people are just cleaning it up, who knows, and they're hoping kind of dedicating you to this will be a good final push to just kind of round all that stuff up and clean the space out. Are you enjoying the work? Like, it's not fun work. It's a weird way to spend your summer, definitely, but at the same time, like, you did all come to this voluntarily to a certain extent, so what tasks, I guess, you all kind of focusing on as part of this? We'll start with Ronnie.
I am not working as much as anyone else. I sit down often and just watch everyone else work and kind of lament in the fact that I kind of feel like king while watching over everybody.
Sure.
I would imagine that Beck occasionally has to kick me to get me back to work. So basically, whatever I'm directed to do.
Makes
But it's not
sense.
much.
Yeah. Because speaking of Beck, what is Beck doing through all of this?
Beck has turned over a trash can, so it's laying on its side. She currently has her inline skates on and one of those little long sticks with a little grabby, whatever the hell's. So she's just scooting around, picking up trash and just kind of throwing it into the garbage can. Every so often, though, she will pick up some trash and just huck it at Ronnie just to get him to get up and start picking up stuff as well.
Is it more of a hockey thing or more of like a lacrosse thing that she's doing? Or is it just kind of a moving in, slide shot and stuff?
Oh, she doesn't care for lacrosse. She thinks ice hockey is better because, like, it's on TV. No one knows what lacrosse is.
Fair enough. No, it makes a lot of sense. No one does know what lacrosse is. Chips?
So what's the nature of the work again?
Just cleaning up. It could be moving pallets. It could be just kind of sorting garbage. It's
in a
just
hardware
general
store,
kind
right?
of, yeah, around it. Yeah, people just dump stuff in this parking lot because it's now out of business and
Okay.
they can.
Yeah. So I will be doing dutifully my work as would be expected, but it'll be a slightly slower pace because I wanna make sure there's no diamonds in this rough. Like there's no gadgets or gizmos that people have accidentally thrown away. That
Little light dumpster diving, if you will.
Yeah. Ostensibly I'm cleaning up, but it's
Sure.
with an ulterior motive to I wanna get any goodies. Any like, oh, this is a retro Casio that only an idiot would throw this away.
Sure.
Is it retro if it's still the day and age of that technology?
Yeah, oh god. Yeah.
Hand crank record player he's hoping to find or something. You know, that retro tech of this time.
Yep.
The pre-Game Boys. All right. Done Ronnie, Beck, and Chips. James, what's
So I am just kind of I am like I guess kind of cleaning stuff up, but I'm very much isolated from everybody else. I'm not working with anybody else. I'm not interacting with anybody else. I'm just kind of there. I am cleaning up, but not too slow, not too fast to be enthusiastic, not too slow to seem lazy, but just kind of there, but very much by myself.
Sure. And last but not least, Tyson.
As anyone catches Tyson in their field of view, he becomes very enthusiastic, just kind of picking up trash, almost with like a rhythm to his movements, and looking as enthusiastic as possible. If there is a chaperone overseeing us, he smiles at them and waves a lot. And then whenever he's out of view, kind of walking around the corner to drop things in the dumpster, he's looking for sniped cigarettes like that are salvageable. He's looking for beer bottles that still have beer in them, and if there is, taking a swig before throwing it away. And he's
Nothing
really
like
there.
that warm outdoor open beer bottle taste. Yeah.
You know, he's alcohol can be hard to come by for a gentleman his age, so he takes what he can get. And
No, it's
a sniped cigarette or a partially consumed beer is, that's
No, and
perfect.
the 1980s was a weird time for this because like none of you were old enough to have dealt with this, but maybe some of your siblings were old enough that like the drinking age got pushed back during the 80s at one point. So yeah, it's the culture around that is quite strange. That makes a certain amount of sense. All right, so as you're going about this cleaning process, or cleaning as it might be more accurate in some of your cases, you hear a loud kind of bang from the kind of space behind the store. Like maybe something collapsed, and you see a cat just race out full speed from where you heard the sound. What do you do?
Tyson wants to see what's going on. He kind of like walks over there briskly.
Yeah, Ronnie's gonna do the same, but he's gonna pick up like a spare or a stray piece of wood, 2x4, as he walks over.
I'm gonna assume that I had like a rake of some sort of cleaning utensil, if you will, and I'm gonna head over there slowly, but I am gonna keep that on me in case I need to swing something at someone.
Sure.
Seeing,
I've still got my
oh, go on. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say I still have my grabby stick, so I'm just gonna scooch on over, kind of gripping it with two hands now.
And then very much following everybody else's lead, I will, hopefully, if you'll allow it, I'll have found like a keyboard, like an old school electronic keyboard, and I'll clutch that like close to my chest, almost like a shield, seeing as everybody's like grabbing other bits.
Sure. Yeah, so as you kind of round the corner, you see it looks like a gray trash bag almost. It's one of those bigger ones, like a 55-gallon thing or something. Like it's a large one, and at first you don't quite get what you're looking at. But you see kind of just maybe it was a box, just kind of something wooden slowly sinking into this thing, and what's the right phrase for this? Everyone, give me a comprehend.
So can we just click on the
Yep.
sheet to do
Just
that?
click on comprehend. It will roll it for you.
What time to be alive? Right.
All right, I rolled a 1 success.
2 successes for Ronnie.
Let's see.
0
Oh, hey.
successes for Beck.
1 success for Tyson.
And 1 for Chips.
All right, so it makes a certain amount of sense that Beck doesn't quite get this. She's a tad distracted with her skating. But so the rest of you realize that the thing sinking into this thing used to probably at one point be like a 10, 12 long foot chunk of wood. And seeing as this thing's maybe like 2 to 3 feet tall, there should be more of that there. And as you're watching, you kind of see more and more of it sink in, and you kind of sits there for a couple seconds, and you start seeing it slowly almost flow, half crawl towards a fence, start to kind of work its way up it, leaving just this thin pool residue of grayish liquid. It kind of flops itself over the fence to a splat, and then kind of the sound of something half rolling, half whatever you'd call that, motioning away from the fence.
Did anybody just see that?
I look over at the rest of the group, but I'm kind of like flabbergasted at what I just saw a facial expression say, yeah, but I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna go see. Tyson, I've never seen that, anything like that. And he's kind of just going and like pulls himself up on the fence if he can to peer over and see what he can see.
Wait, what are you guys talking about? I missed it.
Come here, it's crazy.
I skate up to the fence as well, trying to look through, but there's too much I would say old mesh or old whatever the heck to kind of
Yeah, it's just garbage and stuff. Again, the fact you were capable of skating previously is a testament to your skill as a skater, really, more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Would Tyson be able to make his way to the top of the fence to peer over, or can I look for a knot hole to look through?
Do you want to try and like reach up and pull yourself over? Because you can give me a force, and we can kind of have you try and like at least pull yourself up, pull up style to take a look.
Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I assist to have?
Yeah, I'll give him a +1.
Boost.
Yeah. Hold up. and then I just kind of crouch down. I'm really good at skating, so I know how to balance myself. And I help
The
her.
idea of someone boosting someone while wearing skates is terrifying to me, but also, let's see how this goes.
I'll find some chocks to put behind the skates so she can't move.
All right,
Like airplane
here's
chocks.
here's the roll.
All right, so
That
this is our
0
first.
successes.
All right, so this is our first failure, and because two of you were linked to this, so the real mechanic for this game is you can choose to push your roll at the risk of something bad happening to you. You can burn your luck to get another free reroll, or you can use your pride. I don't recommend using your pride for this, but if we want to go for a reroll, we can see how this one plays out.
Can I roll my force to see like how I counterbalance?
Nope, you are committed. You have provided the +1.
Okay.
Am I able to, since I noticed that they are like maybe teetering, come in to assist?
See how this plays out first.
Okay.
All right,
So
I
you
will
have-
take the reroll opportunity. I
All
want
right, let's see it.
to. Ah, heartbreak.
Oof.
All right, so do you want to try to intervene real quickly?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and intervene real quick. Do I do a move because I'm running over there quick to help them, or am I doing a
Yeah,
force?
this will be a move to see if you get there fast enough. It's kind of awkward to get there.
All right. I rolled 1 success.
All right, so you kind of managed to you get there and kind of stopping tragedy from happening. You manage like probably like slam. What's the right way of thinking of this? Like you probably slam like Beck against the fence more so she can't roll forward. Like I'm pretty sure what's happening was you have someone trying to pull up at the same time that force is like slowly pushing his feet away, which is causing Beck to just kind of slowly glide away. So you have like that kind of weird human ladder thing going on, and with Beck secured, you manage to kind of not fall, but not quite get the look up you want. But touching this, you don't see over, but you do kind of realize it's left this just almost like a silly putty or a latex paint-like material on this. Like touching it, it's already kind of starting to dry. Like it's not, like your hands aren't covered, but like you've definitely come in contact with like some weird goopish gray stuff.
Oh, gross. I would hop down to ground level as soon as it was safe to do so. And Tyson's just looking at his hands like, what is this stuff? Gross.
Dude, do you have crap all over your hands?
I mean, kinda. And I just hold up my hands.
I skate backwards away. It's like, dude, don't touch me with your doo-doo hands.
Oh, I'm totally gonna try. He's like, Tyson's like, oh, you don't want this? Here. You don't want things
Both
to
you
be
give me
touched with these hands?
how far do you want to take this? Because I can make you both give me a move, and I'll even give Jad a +1 to his character because he's on skates.
Yeah, I'm trying to make good on this prank here.
All right, let's see some moves at +1 in your case, Beck.
Question: if I do have my iconic item, is that
I'll give you a +3 then.
my iconic
Aw.
item is usable multiple times or just once?
Well, what's the iconic item? I guess in this
My
case.
skates.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, it's usable every time it's
Alright.
applicable, and you are wearing them, so.
Cool.
0 from Tyson.
See how well Beck gets away.
0 with a 11 die.
So I'm picturing it's kind of like you miss, but like Beck tries to get some movement going and just kind of realizes, oh, there's stuff all over the ground, and just kind of like starts doing that horrible, like, awkward walk in skates thing to try and get around some stuff. Clearly defeating the purpose of skates, but yeah, so the sounds of this thing moving through whatever wilderness was beyond the fence, they're long gone. Made a bunch of sounds with trying to look over the fence, and then trying to chase each other with kind of these wet, goopy hands. You gotta go find some adults. What are you doing at this point? You've seen a weird blob thing eat some wood and then throw itself over a fence, essentially.
Did you say it left a trail over
Yeah,
the
a little bit of
over the
one.
fence? Can I while those guys are tomfoolering, can I see if there's a a trail back, like to trace where it came from?
Yes. Give me an investigate.
Okay. 2 successes.
So it's a little bit hard, but you managed to figure this out. So as best you can tell, this stuff was actually kind of hanging from the underside of the roof. Like the roof overhung the building a little bit. It was kind of up there, and it dropped. But you can also kind of see some signs of it trying. Whatever this thing is, made its way up there at one point. You can kind of like find small, look almost like chunks of plastic or like chunks of rubber on a couple of the things that kind of would make a path up to where it was hanging out. And where it was hanging out, there's kind of a larger, more consistent, like blobular shape that you try and get up to it, or just kind of like notice that it's there.
No, I was just trying to track its movement. If it kind of just trails off, then
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, Beck, come here.
As long as you're not going to touch me with your hands.
I won't. I promise. Here, I'll wipe them on my pants. Check it out. Before my old man left, he had this like old scary movie that he made me watch when I was probably way too little to see it, called The Blob. This was The Blob. For sure it was The Blob. Have you ever heard of that movie?
Yeah, but like Aliens is better. Just because like that was super cool, and like I had to sneak into that because like everything was like super slimy and stuff. But you're kind of right, because like that's more super blobby instead of like a leftover egg. Hey Ronnie.
It could be an alien.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Tyson said he found an alien.
Yeah,
What?
totally. Yeah, that thing looked exactly like an alien. Didn't you see that? Like The Blob. It's like an old movie my dad used to make me watch.
Did our dad make us watch that? Or I know that I kind of ditched you when I went to go see Alien, but like
I don't really watch movies with Dad. He's kind of lame.
uh,
You think you saw an alien? Let's go after it. See what we see.
apparently it like went over the fence, but I couldn't get over the fence because I can't climb in skates. And
What's the
Tyson
fence
kind
made
of
of?
pushed me away.
What's the fence made of, Charlie?
Similar, it's just a normal. You can also just go around, like you were trying to follow it around this. Like it doesn't go the entire length of forever. You can just go out to the parking lot and go around this eventually.
Can I just take my 2x4 and make a hole in the fence for us?
I try and break it.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the material of the fence? Is it chain link?
Just
or
wood. No, it's just a wooden old school fence. Sorry, so can I try and break it? Give me a force.
Yeah. 0 successes. But I'm gonna push it.
All right.
1 success.
All right. Yeah, with some effort and some bashing, you kind of managed to pop a couple of these slowly rotting boards out of place, and you got an opening.
He just motions and he's like, "Well, we going?"
Ronnie,
Get some
we
trash
could've
bags. We got to
walked
bag this
around.
thing.
I'm gonna bring my rake along with me and be like, oh, I guess we're hunting aliens down. Cool, whatever. And then I just work my way through the hole that was just made.
Community service.
Hey James, it's what Ranger Rick would want us to do. You know, like if somebody was cleaning up on my behalf, I would want someone to hunt aliens in my name.
I look over and I'm like, I don't know if that's what you would have wanted, but we'll check it out. We'll see what this is.
Because if there's one thing we know about Ranger Rick, was his passion for nature and alien hunting, apparently. Big John Carpenter's a Things fan, apparently.
When he's not hanging out with my mom, he's hunting aliens and helping nature.
It's what he would have wanted.
So like as we're going, like pushing through this fence and everything, I've got a bag of the trash that I've been collecting, and I'm like grabbing bottles out of it and like throwing them against trees, trying to smash them as we're going.
For any reason or just cuz, I gotta ask.
Just cuz.
Makes perfect sense in this case, absolutely. Alright, so tracking this thing through the woods is pretty hard. You kind of follow a trail, but eventually kind of either it's shedding less of its goopiness or just it doesn't goop quite as much on dirt and whatnot. You lose track of it. You do find kind of what looks like its chunks are almost kind of eraser-like, if that makes any sense, in their kind of texture to them. They're hardened, they're more dried out. It's either moving pretty fast or kind of you just lost it somehow. You try and push on, you just kind of head back to the lot and kind of keep going what you're doing.
I'm pushing on, so I'm gonna keep moving ahead. Do I need to do any special roll to track it, kind of thing, or is that just
Yeah,
kind of
give me an investigate. See if you can pick up the trail.
All right, 2 successes.
Nice.
All right, so you don't find its trail, but you kind of hear off in the distance a kid screaming for their dog.
Upon hearing that, I book it there to that yelling immediately.
All right.
So this entire time I've been kind of trudging along in my skates because I didn't stop to change into shoes. I will immediately change into some shoes at this point. So I don't think I'll be running with the pack anytime soon.
I'm gonna be next to Chips, kind of eyeballing the keyboard. Hey Chips, I'll give you a Cal Ripken baseball card for that keyboard you got there.
No, thank you. This is I'm quite happy with this for the time being. You can keep your card.
It's pretty mint. It got it's got the little foil stamp on there and everything, man. It's looking pretty nice. It's a good trade.
Well,
That keyboard works, right?
you, you don't know clearly how good this keyboard is. It's not a good trade. I'll keep it. Thank you.
All right.
I clutch it ever so slightly closer.
And I'll follow in James's footsteps, but at a more relaxed pace.
It stands to reason if the cat was scared, then perhaps the dog is also scared.
All right, so you're all heading towards the person screaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of blunder through the woods and kind of dump out onto a nature trail, and there's a small girl, 11, 12 years old, kind of holding a leash, just kind of yelling for her dog, Puddles.
Is Puddles on the leash, or is she just holding only a leash?
She's just holding the leash.
So I run over and I'm like catching my breath as like I'm saying this, but like, are you okay?
Give me a charm to see if you can calm her down.
1 success.
Yeah. So kind of like she snaps out of frantically screaming and looking a bit scared for Puddles, and she looks at you and goes, my dog, Puddles, I let him off leash so we could run around some, and I heard a sound, and I can't find him anymore. I've been looking for like 10 minutes now. He's not coming back. He's normally a good dog. Have you seen him?
So I kneel down and I say, did you see what direction Puddles went?
And I shake her head. She's like, no, kind of vaguely gestures kind of roughly in the direction you came from, give or take. She's like, last I saw him, he was heading off that way. He was coming back, and you think he heard something and just took off in that direction.
Okay. What does Puddles look like?
Kind of stops to think for a second. Like a dog. Like puts her hands where the dog's height would be. About like yay high, and what's that color? Gold, I guess. He's a retriever or something. Just Puddles, the dog.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna go look. You stay here. And just stay safe here. I'm gonna go take a look. And I pick up my rake that I've been carrying with me this whole time, and just kind of head on over in the general direction where Puddles was assumed to be. Now, since obviously I mean we were rolling with a group, but I'm in full on let me rescue this dog mode. So I've kind of ignored the other folks around me at this point, just because I'm focused. My character has a soft spot for animals, so.
Did the girl say they heard a sound, like a peculiar sound? Did I catch that?
And
A rustle or something. It's more the dog had a reaction to something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, fine. No worries.
So how old is this dog owner?
11, 12, she's a little kid still.
So Tyson will approach and say, All due respect, if you'd been cleaning up with us, this never would have happened.
Just kind of looks at you like, only nerds clean, man.
Got a point.
I'll have you know, I'm now a nerd, and I bring out this deck of cards, like an empty pack of cards, and open it and like show that I've got a bunch of old cigarettes in there. Man,
She kind
you're
of looks at you
square.
like, yeah, Ron smokes those too, and Ron's a nerd.
Mm.
I look over his shoulder and say to her, "He got those from the trash."
I elbow Chips. Shut up, Chips.
A
Alright, so is
keyboard
everyone
on the keyboard.
Alright, so is everyone staying with the girl, or are people kind of going off to chase with...
I would say it depends. If she's by
Yeah.
herself in the middle of random woods, like in the green belt behind these businesses, then I feel like it would be irresponsible to leave her alone with an alien on the loose.
Don't
So
disagree.
Tyson's gonna like stand guard, or at least like, I don't know if I would fully explain the situation because I know how crazy it sounds, but Tyson's just kind of hanging back and making sure that she's okay.
Likewise, actually. Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie,
So
I'm gonna. Sorry.
Anyone go with James, or is James off on their own?
I was about to kind of lead into that.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, I've got this weird stick thing, this little stick grabber. Do you have anything in that trash bag of yours that's a little bit more fortified?
I've got this big 2x4 I grabbed.
That's. This feels a little bit more like a hockey stick, so I feel like I can probably do that. I'm gonna go after James because apparently his mom's boyfriend already died, and that's not a good thing for his mom to lose like another person. So make sure that's all right. Are you gonna stay or are you gonna come along and maybe have to beat something up?
He kind of looks between the two groups for a minute. I'll go with you.
All right, you guys, you nerds, stay here. We're gonna go make sure James is gonna be okay. I guess, unless you want to come along with us.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Beck.
Oh, Becky. Come on, I know you. I'm talking to
Beck.
Miss
Just
Dog Owner.
it's Beck. Making sure with that.
Okay,
Um,
Beck.
I looks at you and she's like, oh, sorry, Molly Cobb. Yeah, I'll come along, I guess.
oh, you were talking to her. Whoops. And I just leave the awkward situation as I start walking.
Yeah. Alright, so whoever's leading this, so I think that means James, you're the one who kind of went off, or not, yeah, James, you're kind of leading this, so give me a navigate, and everyone kind of assist for this,
All
if they
right.
want.
Navigate. Where the hell is the navigate?
I don't think navigate's a
Yeah, navigate's
Oh,
not
sorry. Lead, my bad.
a lead. Okay.
Got my games confused there for a second.
0 successes on that one.
Alright, so it takes you some time to get there, and maybe if you'd been faster, the scene we're about to play into wouldn't quite play out the way we were going to, but you arrive to see the tail of Puddles the dog kind of being sucked noodle style into this gray blob, and you can kind of see some twitching inside the blob still, but eventually the kind of tail just kind of into the blob itself, and then it seems to pause for a second, and then starts kind of slowly gooping its way towards you 5. 6, I guess, with Molly there. What do you all do?
Well,
It's gotten bigger since last time you saw it, by the way. It's easily kind of like 25% larger.
Hmm. So with the rake that I have, I want to head over there and take a swing at it with it.
Okay, you want to hit that?
Yep.
All
What
right. Give me a force.
force? 1 success.
All right, so you hit it, but when you try and like swing back, the goop is already pulling the rake into itself.
Am I able to pull like the rake away from it?
It's surprisingly hard to do so. We can roll to see if you successfully pull it away, but it's taken some effort. It's almost like it's really stuck in this thing.
Okay, yeah, I want to give it the effort to try to.
All right, let's see a force.
Well, can I? I don't know how this game works. Can I jump in while that's happening, or is that?
Yeah, you can try and give him a +1 if you want.
Well, I was just gonna throw like a rock off of the floor at it to kind of take its suction attention away from the rake because it's too busy absorbing this rock.
Can I run up and grab James to help, like, just pull him as well?
Yeah, you can try and I'll pull on this. Just a heads up. Dylan's lost power, as is a typical negative modifier live stream.
The
Something must go wrong.
The gray goop got his power lines. Yeah. Oh,
Hopefully he will be back.
Oh no, Ronnie got lost in the forest.
Yeah, you took a wrong turn.
As we all know, every negative modifier live stream, you're not guaranteed to be safe.
I mean, if it's
Things
not
do
that,
happen.
it's what, truck noise in the background, or
Yeah.
I think we had sirens one time coming out of someone. Was it you, Charlie?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so are all of you trying to basically pull this rake out of this blob at this point?
It's just in various ways, I think.
I think Tyson is covering Molly's eyes so that she doesn't witness the demise of Puddles.
All right, so 2 of you are then, I'll say. I'll roll that just to kind of see the difference. All right, so yeah, one of you kind of, by your powers combined, you do manage to pull the rake out, or what's left of the rake, I guess. So as you're pulling this thing out, the blob continues to eventually it stretches and kind of snaps off, kind of like silly putty almost, and that falls to the ground. And it's almost like someone very carefully cut a very smooth, just kind of path along the rake head where it made impact. Basically, the stuff that was in it, it's just gone at this point. The stuff you pulled back, that's there, I guess, but also there is some of this stuff still on this rake itself. It's slowly kind of working its way up the stuff you pulled back.
Dude, toss it.
So before I toss it, can I try to break the rake thing in half so I break off the bad part, kind of thing, or has it worked its way far enough that it's I can't get it good?
Making its way across the head. If you want to break it off at the neck, you can, I guess.
Okay, I'll attempt to break it off then.
All right, let's see a force.
1 success.
All right, so you snap it. You now have, we'll call it contaminated rake half and rest of rake handle at that point. What are you doing with this improvised vampire stopping device?
I'm going to toss the contaminated part away, so I don't obviously get anything of it on me. So I throw it away from the group so it doesn't affect anybody. And then I'm looking over at the gray thing, and I'm like, this thing almost ate the freaking rake. Let's back up, guys. And so I kind of just signal to everyone to back up a little bit.
All right, so as you're watching, this is kind of the part you threw is slowly being consumed, and eventually kind of turns that into a smaller puddle of goop, and that puddle of goop starts to slowly make its way back towards the larger group.
I turn to Tyson and I yell, "Tyson, your hands in your pants!" Because he had touched the goop earlier. It's
now I've touched Molly's face by covering her eyes. I'm like, oh shit. I shake my hands. I look at my hands in my pants to see if I'm
it's mostly flaked off. You're fine. You're not there's no new layer of skin on you exposed or something like that.
I think I'm okay.
Okay, cool. We have to go. We have to find Puddles somewhere else, or Puddles turned into Puddles. We gotta go.
Can I?
On the dog,
Molly, dogs. I think
Don't tell her.
Yeah, we should look elsewhere. This is clearly a waste of time, Molly. There's no way that thing ate your dog.
Maybe he's gone back home. If you said he was a good dog,
you should check home first. Stay home.
That's good advice.
So I'm still looking over at these puddles. Can I see if there's like any kind of like face or any kind of like it's just a goop?
Just a goop. So I did send you an image. I'm not going to pop that up now that we've kind of spent some time messing with this. If you can show this to the stream, that would be great.
I have it
but
preloaded. I will show it now, but if you want to post it in the chat so that everybody here can see it.
I'm just going to show it on the Roll20. That's easy enough to do.
So
picture just kind of like a mass of that.
Should be far up on that side over there, the overlay. For folks that are watching the stream, it's all the way in the corner, right above the extra life text.
Oh, wow.
It's more kind of mound of silly putty than the images, but kind of that texture.
Okay, so it's not translucent or anything else like that. It's like super.
No. It's very opaque.
All right. And then I just want to clarify we're like Alex and I are kind of close to it. Molly, Tyson, and James and I are super close to it. Molly, Tyson, and Chips are a little bit further away.
Yeah.
There's probably like a few steps back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Molly now has seen this because you took your hands off of her eyes.
My hands were off now.
Let's all leave.
Somebody put a bag over it. Let's take this thing back. It could be worth a lot of money. How many times have you seen an alien blob? Let's grab this thing.
Big. Like it's the size of a 55-gallon trash bag. It's sizable. Like it's only like 2 or 3 feet tall, but it's got some width to it, I guess, is the way of thinking of
so
it.
we
Like
won't
it
be able
is.
to bag it.
I guess to put in perspective, it managed to kind of successfully noodle a golden retriever.
But you could.
Fair enough.
There's a little blob going towards the bigger blob. You could capture.
Yeah, it's kind of snaking its way back to it.
Yeah, you could capture the little bit.
Hey, get the little one. I still have my trash bag.
Oh yeah. And so I grabbed my little
open
long,
up the trash bag.
Yeah,
I grab my long grabby thing and I try to pick up the little gray blob.
All right. I'll say you do that. You kind of get into the bag. You run away at this point, like you have bag, goop. What's the plan?
Well, I'm looking at the bag. Is it eating through the bag at all, or is it like nicely trapped in the bag?
You need to investigate.
Oh no.
I got 1 success.
Not that you can tell yet.
Okay. So I look over the rest of the group. All right, well, it's not leaking for now, but we should probably get away from the bigger one.
Yeah. We should get Molly to safety and find out what to do with this later.
Let's take Molly back to the camp. And after that, I start to kind of like signal, like, all right, let's get out of here, and just kind of.
I will say the entire time you've been doing this, the bigger mass has been slowly kind of like moving its way towards you, oozing its way at you.
Has it picked up speed?
Go.
No, it's not very fast yet.
Yet?
Did I say yet?
You did. You did say yet. All right. All right, so I will go ahead then, and I'm just gonna start kind of stepping away from the bigger goop, and then just kind of make sure everybody gets out of there, and make sure Molly's okay.
All right, so everyone, give me a move.
I got 2 successes on my move.
0 for me.
4 successes.
Does that mean someone can help me?
I was gonna say, can I offshoot one of my successes over to help?
Yeah, I'm gonna spread your successes out so you all make it away from this thing. So as you start to kind of turn to leave, this thing kind of like pulses, sucks out, and something geysers at you. Thankfully, you all are about to start running, so you manage to kind of get going as it just kind of like launches itself to roughly where you were standing, kind of almost like it almost throws itself. Like it starts at one point, like it does that like fountain trick where like it launches like a stream from point A to point B. Everything just hits the ground and kind of billows out as it makes impact and just kind of starts grabbing at stuff. You see kind of faint tentacle-looking things start to rise up out of it, trying to grab in every direction where it landed. Thankfully, you are moving at this point. Also, the stuff in the bag is starting to flail about some, and as you are moving, it's definitely trying to pull the bag back towards the mass itself. But you're running at this point, and how far do you run? Where are you trying to get to?
Okay.
Trying to get back to the parking lot. All the while, I'm yelling for Ronnie to kind of, or hopefully he'll hear us. And Ronnie, get back to the parking lot.
Yeah. I will just kind of, for the time being, if Dylan makes it back, his power restores, we'll kind of assume he's been running along with you. We'll put him on autoplay for like a better phrase for now, but yeah. All right, so back to the parking lot?
Yep.
Yeah, you all successfully get back there. So, do you check the bag once you get there or no?
Is it still moving?
No?
Hey, the bag isn't moving anymore.
We should check. You should check.
I should
I
check.
Looking in that bag.
Who's got the bag?
What's in the bag?
I think James has it.
I have the bag. Okay. So I'm gonna put the bag down, and I still have what's left of my rake with me because I never dropped it. It's now my battle spear. And so I'm gonna hold the spear thing back and say, "All right, on three, somebody open the bag."
All right, I got it. I go over and
So-
with my face away from the bag, I open the bag toward James.
All right. So
All right.
like I said, I'm on alert as soon as the bag opens, and so the bag opens and I'm ready to go.
All right, so upon opening the bag, you see two things. One, this thing at some point ate a hole in the bottom of the bag, and most of it kind of managed to fall out while you were running. Weirder though, kind of a big chunk of the inside, so kind of like, we'll say like a third of the inside volume of this thing just has that that same kind of grayish, whitish, off-white latex paint looking film across the inside of it.
So I look over and I'm like, this thing's gone. And I use the stick to kind of move the bag around and kind of like, I guess, scrape some of that stuff that's on the bag onto it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it scrapes kind of like latex paint would off the inside of a can or something. Like, this stuff seems pretty dead.
so I turn around and show it to the rest of the group and be like, it's gone.
Oh gosh, it escaped.
Oh
Probably
boy.
just gone back though, so I think we'd be fine. I think.
Yeah, but like the way that it just kind of like jumped at us, like it's not, dude. This is absolutely not like the thing. This is totally like alien.
Yeah, you're right. This is messed up.
Is Molly with us?
Yeah, she managed to keep up. She's realizing her dog's not coming back, and she's starting to cry a little bit. And she kind of looks at you and goes, "Did that thing get puddles?"
Sison just
I-
looks around at everyone, like, what do we say?
Molly, I think it could have, and it couldn't have. But I think right now the best thing to do is just get home and rest, because we can't be you're not gonna be able to find puddles if all you're gonna be doing is crying. So just you need to go home and take care of yourself.
Starting to kind of tear up a little bit at that. She's like, "I thought when Missy's dog went missing, she just ran away because Missy's a jerk, but this thing is coming after the dogs?"
It hold up, other dogs have gone missing?
Guy looks at you kind of half crying, half like just exasperated, like, "How did you not know about all the pet disappearances? Pete lost his family cats. Missy's dog is missing. Someone was talking about there's no squirrels around town anymore. Like, that big Saint Bernard, Patrick went missing as well."
When she mentions the squirrels, can I think back and see as we were just in the green area? Did I notice any? I tried to think back and see if I saw any squirrels.
Oh yeah, no. you've probably heard maybe the occasional person. Like, school's been out, so kid chatter and rumors are a little bit like muted at that point, because you're not interacting with as many of them on any given point in time. But you've probably, now that you're thinking about it and actively kind of processing it, you've seen definitely more missing animal signs around town, like those cheap, like, missing dog stuff kids make when animals go missing. Like, there's definitely been an uptick of those all of a sudden.
Okay. All right, Missy. I think you need to go home and just get some rest. We're gonna figure out what's going on right now. As I just kind of point to everyone. Stay safe. Like, try not to get yourself into any kind of danger. It's like
We recognize Molly from school, or is this just a totally...
Maybe. It's also it's public school. There's lots of kids. Like, maybe you recognize her, but not like recognize her necessarily. You're also different enough in age that, like, how many 14-year-olds are hanging out with 11-year-olds type of thing, unless they, like, are related to them or friend of a sibling or something.
Sure. So we saw an alien, and it ate a dog. What are we gonna do? I mean, nobody's gonna believe us. They're gonna think we're crazy, or that we're joking or something.
Well, we have to figure out how to kind of catch it and how to stop it. I mean, it looks like it can, at least the small versions, we could kind of catch it temporarily, but I think we're going to need something a lot stronger than just like a trash bag. Also, it ate it eats through stuff, it looks like, so we have to be super careful not to touch it or anything else like that. We need longer things. Like, I have a whole bunch of hockey sticks back at my house. We could arm ourselves with that if need be.
What was
Hey,
on the end
Chips,
of the?
you know science stuff. Like, is this thing? Can you like chemistry it, dissolve it? Like, can you? I mean, you're always staying after school for like extra work. Like, have you maybe make I don't know, acid or something?
Yes, quite possibly. Ideally, we'd need a live sample. I don't think whatever we have left over here, the residue, is going to do us any good. But what did what did you use against it in the forest? The rake?
Well, the rake doesn't work, and it was trying to work its way up the rake to the wood.
I did pick it up with my grabber.
You were able to grab it with the grabber. Does the grabber have rubber tips on it? Like,
I would imagine the grabber is like exactly what you think a grabber would look like. The little handgun gun thing, gray with little black tips on it.
Yeah. I'll also point out the fact that the stuff you grabbed was off the main mass. Like, it had just been recently pulled off the main mass.
Mm-hmm.
We need to experiment. Science. I will. Are we back where the trash that we were sorting through is?
Yeah. Also, you're back at the parking lot by now. Yeah, that's where we were going.
I want to see. Is there any like glass jars, bottles, milk bottles?
Yeah, there's stuff around. Like, what are you trying to do? I guess more accurately.
I just want to find and pick up something that's made of glass because I want to theorize. I want to try and work out what this thing can and can't consume.
All right, so I will say, like, just a reminder: the sample you have left is just kind of like rubber residue. Like,
should we choose to go back or re-encounter it? I want to.
Fair enough.
I want to have like as many different material types as possible at my disposal.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, you can find that stuff pretty easily. It's a yard, or it's a lot people dump stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Garbage abounds, unfortunately.
Yeah. So rather delicately, I'll look through and try and find something glass.
Yeah.
So that's
how are we doing on time? In terms of like, do our parents need us to check in, or is there anybody like expecting us to like report in on our cleanup?
I mean, it's summer in the '80s, so kids have a bit of a kind of free reign type of thing. This was a era of the absentee parents in many ways. Like, this is the era that brought us latchkey kids amongst a variety of other fun parenting terms. But Yeah, it's probably a check-in that you're probably running up towards at this point. Like we kind of blew through that. But like you spent some time walk through the woods, you spent some time getting back type of thing. This has not been a as fast as we played it type of set of events. But yeah, we're probably getting close to kind of like 4 p.m. give or take at this point, and probably an adult's going to come by and tell you it's done for the day sometime soonish.
Okay. So we don't have time to go back. We don't have time to go back.
I mean, you do, but it's gonna get darkish soonish. Not soon, because it won't get dark till like 8, 9 o'clock probably. But
I will grab. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to put my skates back on just because I'm on asphalt again. So I can move pretty easily. But I'm going to grab that trash can that I kind of tipped over.
Sure.
And I'm going to take it to like the main dumpster where we're putting all that stuff in and empty it out because I'm going to take the trash can.
Sure, makes sense.
We could use this, if anything else, to hold on to it if we ever catch it again.
It's a good idea.
Makes sense.
Would it
Still?
fit in that trash can?
Well, I mean, here idea, because it seems like it's a lot less powerful if it's split up. So maybe if we all have something to hold on to it, we can split it between the 4 of us, so that way it's not going to be something that's going to overwhelm us.
I like that idea. Tyson's going to look for a container as well.
Something stronger than a plastic bag for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look around just to see if I can find something. I will also add we got a anonymous $7 donation for Extra Life. So
Woo! Was it one of the things? Do you guys have an auto pass finally?
I don't see any official, like, let me check and see if there was a incentive thing there.
I need to step away real quick. My dog has been unwell, so
No,
just give me
no, it's fine. Yeah, let's take a short minute, I guess. Remind people this is Extra Life now that we're in it, for lack of a better phrase. Want to do the Extra Life spiel this time, Alex, or do you want me to do it?
You can go ahead and do it this time while I double check and see what the details are of this dono.
Sure, fair enough. Dono, really?
Oh yeah, $7 auto pass incentive.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna do not pass.
No, it's pass go, auto pass any player role. That specifically the initiative was donated for.
Fair enough. All right, so if you're confused as to what we were talking about, if you go to the Extra Life page and make a donation, off on the right-hand side, there's a list of incentives, which give the players or me certain bonuses during this. For $3, they can get a reroll. For $5, I can make them reroll. Last stream we did this, that was used to very tragic effect towards the end. For $7, I get an auto pass. For $7, I can also make a auto fail happen. For $15, we have the remove the fog of war, force the GM to actually give a direct answer, which, now that we're in it a little bit, you may understand how useful that might be. But last but certainly not least, and kind of our little gimmick for this, our highest kind of incentive is that you can swap this over from Tales from the Loop to Delta Green, and with all that comes with it, taking this from a tale of childhood innocence and science gone wrong to some 1980s Eldritch horror.
Yep. And so you can find those on our Extra Life page, which I think is linked in the Twitch chat on the bottom.
Yep.
Or not Twitch chat, the
clicking
panels, yeah.
It should be on the links under Extra Life, and also if you click the big Extra Life logo, it should take you there as well. If that's not working, let us know, and we'll figure out to fix it. But also, you can just go to negativemodifier.com, and that is a link for the Extra Life donation page right there. I think it's the third option. But, yeah.
I'm back.
We're still kind of in this seam. When we get bonuses to things, do you just want us to do a flat roll and then you apply the bonuses, or do you want us to go in there and click bonus?
Yeah, put in the bonus when I tell you to give a bonus. Yeah, it should give you a +1 and whatnot in the system. I can also just add the roll afterwards. It's seeing as your 0 engine only cares about successes, there's no kind of scaling like better or worse. It's just the number of successes you need to succeed, which is typically 1. It's more just the bonus just increases your dice pool by 1, 2, 3, however many you apply to it, type of thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Also,
Cool.
All right.
one last bit of extra life business here, real quick. For the anonymous donor, you are entered into the contest. So if you can show us who
Yeah.
you are, if we happen to pick you or anything like that, just so we can get you your prize, because we do have some prizes we're giving away. So
I do. That we do. All right. Should we press on?
Mhm.
It's looking like Dylan may not be rejoining us. If he does, you want to take a second to kind of redo the overlay stuff while we're
Oh, I already
pausing
did.
for a sec?
I already did.
Oh, fair enough.
He's already done it.
You
Way
ninja'd it
ahead of
on me
you.
then. I completely missed that. Anyways,
I pride myself on my OBS production. It's not great, but I pride myself on trying to get things right.
fair
One of
enough.
you's got to be professional. So.
All right, so you're back at this yard. You're back at the parking lot. You're calling it a day at this point, type of thing, or is it time to go back out in the woods? You wait for adults to show up and tell you to go home. Like, are you gonna tell adults for that matter? Like,
Well, I agree with that when that it's not gonna, no one's gonna believe us. So
Yeah, Tyson would be keeping it close to the vest and just kind of in this circle of people in the know, and probably a little bit worried about keeping up appearances, and is like kind of frantically cleaning up to kind of make up for the lost time so that it doesn't look like they've been slacking off.
sure, makes sense.
yeah, we need some evidence. Otherwise, nothing's gonna stick.
Well, we do have evidence. We have all that leftover residue in that plastic bag and on Tyson's hands and pants.
I mean, residue though, it's nobody's gonna believe what that residue is. We've been cleaning up trash all day. They just think it's junk.
I know, but like you could still kind of use it for something, whether or not we could probably test the residue to see if like it's like super flammable or if it's like if it gets destroyed by water like in War of the Worlds. Like I don't know, whatever kind of alien kryptonite's happening, you know?
Do we have
Every
any
alien
water
has a
bottles?
weakness.
The common cold. I sneeze on it. Do we have bottles of water with us for our community work?
Sorry, what are you asking?
Do we have like bottles of water that we
Yeah,
maybe they hand
probably. Yeah.
out? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll try and. I guess you could try and I'll pour some of mine over Tyson's hands to see what happens if there's still residue left on them, of course.
Yeah, there's no residue left on the hands at this point. It's probably flaked up. Again, like I'll go back to saying the residue you have in the bag and that you had on your hands was more kind of like latex paint. Like it wasn't. It's not super active right now. It reacts the same way that kind of a thin layer of rubberish plastic material would react to just having water poured on it. Maybe it flakes and dissolves a little bit, but like what you have at this point is pretty inert. It's just kind of a film, if you will.
Yeah. Now the residue is not enough. We need more. We need either it or to pretend this never happened.
Well, we can't really pretend like this never happened because that just means that there's just this weird blob thing walking around boring, like eating all the animals. Because apparently this isn't the only dog that it's taken.
Hey, didn't one of you guys mention the movie The Blob a while back?
Yeah, my dad.
What did they use?
He was a big fan.
What did they use to kill the blob in the movie? Did they kill it? Did it survive? Like what happened?
Let me think. I don't really remember. I was pretty young when I watched it.
Wasn't it? Didn't they like freeze it to death?
That sounds right. Definitely. Like they threw a bunch of ice cubes at it or something. No, that wasn't it.
Well,
Maybe fire extinguisher? No, that's not. I don't know.
while you guys do
Maybe.
that,
I can't remember.
I'm gonna go to the video store and see if I can find a copy of The Blob, and I'm gonna watch it and see if I can find out what the heck happened to it. So I don't do this science stuff here, but I'm good at watching movies, I guess. So I'll leave you guys to it. And so I'm gonna take off from the group and head home to grab some money to rent The Blob on VHS.
Sure.
I'm going to Hey, so where should we like meet up back here tomorrow to kind of figure some stuff out?
Yes, I'm reluctant to go without as many of us as possible. So why don't we say there was a lot of work to do here and we need to come back, and then we'll just return tomorrow.
Cool.
A good
Make sure you
cover.
bring a backpack. I'm gonna bring some hockey sticks for all of us. I'm cool. Like I'm in James's class, so I know where he lives. I've dropped some homework off for everything else like that, and I'll tell him to meet us here tomorrow too. Tyson,
Maybe
you were gonna
Sounds good.
rubber gloves, maybe. I don't know
Yeah, I
if your
think I saw like some
parents.
dish gloves in the sink.
all I have are like my hockey gloves, and they're just kind of fit for my hands. I don't know if they're gonna fit for your guy, but yeah, I'll bring whatever I can.
Sounds good. And I'm gonna bring a rope because I feel like that's always useful.
Cool.
Like, you know, if we have to climb away or lasso it, something like that.
Sure. All right, so to summarize all of that, though, just so I can kind of keep track of all this stuff. James, you're off to the video store. Most of you are going home to gather supplies, though.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
with my trash can in hand, I'm actually gonna skate over to James's house because we are in the same classroom and we know how to, or I know how to get there, and tell him to meet back up in the parking lot tomorrow.
I'm just even split off. I was making sure that I knew what the plans were so we could
Okay.
play things out appropriately. Yeah, it's okay, cool. So let's do James's thing first. So you go home, grab some money, and then go off to the movie store or the video store.
Yep. And then also just gonna point out we got another donation right now.
Amazing.
Let me confirm it. It's another $7 donation, so I'm wondering if it's an auto pass roll. But let me find
Please
out.
be an auto fail. Please be an auto fail.
An auto fail? Let me see. It is. Yeah, it's an auto fail. Oh, okay. So this actually is. So here's the stipulation on the autofill, which I think is really great. Incentive: do not pass go. Autofail any player roll. Autofail: the only available copy of the Blob is on Betamax. Curse you, Blockbuster.
Thought about that.
So
good.
Yeah.
I appreciate this.
So thank you, Randy Bishop. I appreciate that.
I am more than happy to say that this speaks to my ignorance when it comes to the Betamax topic. Like, could you even rent Betamax? I think it was even hard to find rentals of Betamax. Like, that was the whole curse of Betamax at that point. But I could be remembering my events wrong. But okay,
It's
cool.
like it's double ironic in that the only one they do have is the one that's very hard to find.
Well, you know what? You can get it in higher quality. They do have it on Laserdisc.
Is Laserdisc around in the 80s?
The only true way to watch Star Wars, as many of us know, was on Laserdisc.
It was really it was in like the late 70s, I think, that Laserdisc had come out, which was actually quite ahead of its time.
I mean, it was and it wasn't. Like, yeah, it's a DVD, but it's also the DVD the size of a small table, so you be the judge of how actually useful that is. Like, an exceedingly fragile DVD, congratulations. That was, like, oddly heavy for how fragile it was and easy to destroy, but we're getting off on a tangent. So, let's play out the video store first. So, Boring is home to the not at all boring movie rental store. They understand the name of their town and lean into it some. They're aware of who they are, type of thing. Its biggest kind of feature is the fact it's giant words movie and big kind of theater lights with a Bigfoot outside of it, just kind of doing the Frankenstein pose on top of the roof.
All right, so I'm gonna walk in. I'm guessing as I walk in, it's got that little old school bell jingle when the door swings open and all that jazz. Okay.
Yeah, and the people inside are watching a movie that's obviously inappropriate for the majority of people that come into this store, because this is movie store employees in the 80s. They were powerful and they knew it. Like,
All right, so
Especially for kids, they're watching something. Kids should just wander into a room and be like, "Oh, that's on a TV."
So, obviously, knowing that this is going to be in Betamax, my characters that know, I begin to look through the VHS tapes in alphabetical order, or actually not alphabetical. Well, it's alphabetical, but also by like topic, right? God, it's been so long since I've been to a video store. This is like
It could be both. It depends on the store.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd start guessing where the blob would be. So I look for a horror section, obviously in VSH, but of course, because of our special incentive, I have no luck finding.
Oh, I'm gonna make it worse, actually.
Oh boy! All right.
You find it.
Okay.
You find it. You find a cassette box with it in there. You take it up to the front desk, and they pop it open, and it's empty.
Oh. Okay. So I asked the person who do you know the last person who had the blob checked out, because this box is empty.
Person behind the checkout counter, just an older teenager, looks at you and goes like, "I don't think I can give you that information, man."
Why not? I just want to be able to watch the movie. Can you call them and see if they have it by mistake?
I mean, but like, then if someone's looking for the blob and you check it out, I have to tell them that like you have the blob, and I think my boss told me not to ever tell people like what other people are renting, and then like if you come into the store and ask people what I'm renting, then they have to tell you, and I don't want you to know what I'm renting, man. That's private.
Yeah, but like, I need to be able to. I need to see this movie. I've heard really good stuff about it. Right? It's a good movie.
Man, the blob's not even that good. Like, there's so many better things you could watch than the blob. Like, the Blob 2. It's got a sequel. It's got a 2 in the name. It's obviously a better movie.
So you have Blob 2?
No, it is also checked out.
Okay, have you seen the Blob movies?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. How do they kill the blob at the end?
But man, I don't want to give away the ending to a movie. Like, half the experience is watching it and like experiencing what goes on, and like that'd be spoilers. A thing that we don't care about this much here doesn't exist. But like, I feel really like a dick if I just gave you all the information about a movie without having you seen it. Like, that's ruining someone's movie for you, man. You just don't do that.
Okay. How about this? I will ask you a question about the blob character, and you tell me yes or no. So technically you're not spoiling it because you're not telling me, you're just kind of confirming my questions.
Seems kind of interested in this game you're about to play. Give me a charm to see if you can make this work.
1 success.
Yeah, so they'll probably answer you usefully on this.
Okay. So question number 1. Does the blob die at the end of the first movie?
Yeah, it does. They beat the monster.
Okay. Question 2. Did they freeze it to death?
So you have seen, yeah, there's a whole thing with like a explosion, some liquid nitrogen tanks that go off that like freezes the blob. Like, what's your name's about to die as part of it's coming at her, like, I absorb you. And yeah, no, they freeze it, man.
Okay. Was there anything they used to like restrain it? Like, could they set it on fire? Could they do anything else to it?
I mean, man, it's the blob. Like, it blobs about, like, rolls through cages. Like, it's basic. It's like Silly Putty, man. Like, it's Silly Putty that wants to eat you. It's the blob.
All right. Does the blob eat people?
Wouldn't be a good horror movie if it didn't.
Damn it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And then I slam down the empty cartridge box on the desk and be like, "Well, next time people turn in rentals, make sure the actual tape is in it." Then I walk away like an ass.
I kind of shrugs as you're walking away on this one. I'm going to give you a little bit of information, though, because you did ask some good questions. He kind of, like, shrugs and goes, like, "Dude, you know how many times this thing's been checked out since that crash that happened outside of town? Like, All the HCE guys keep coming in to check out this damn movie. I don't know why.
Wait, hold on. You said this movie's been checked out by.
We can't keep it in stock. Like the HCE people keep coming in and checking it out left and right. Like it's like they tell each other when it's showing up or something. Like it shows up and it's gone, then it shows up and it's gone. Like within minutes, man.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, thanks and sorry people keep checking. Well, no, you're a video store. It being out of stock is a good thing for you. Well,
I get stuck doing
congratulations.
my job and that sucks.
Yeah. Well, congratulations and also my condolences, I guess. Anyway, I'm heading
Yeah,
out.
whatever.
Thanks, dude. And then I walk out with my information in hand. Begrudgingly, of course, because I could not check out the movie.
It's constantly being checked out, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, so the rest of you have returned home. We can start whoever wants to go first. What is home like for your characters? Like, are you gonna tell your parents that you saw a blob thing? Like, is something you're gonna keep to yourself? Who to start with, I guess, for this? Let's start with Beck. What is home like?
Home is pretty interesting because not only do our parents have to deal with what's it called?
Ronnie?
Ronnie. Ronnie. They have to deal with me, who isn't really looking to become an HEC scientist or anything else like that, but a premier ice hockey player. They want me to go to a good college, but my grades aren't the best, so I'm really hoping to get in with a scholarship.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good relationship, though, for the most part. Like, yeah, it's starting to be teenagers in the 80s, so the rage will happen, but okay parents for the most part?
They're all right. They are very focused on just making sure that we are sticking to school and everything else like that. Any kind of other weird extracurriculars is kind of,
Sure.
but otherwise like decent.
Sure. Yeah, so you get home, your mom, like, do they both work? Is your mom stay-at-home mom? Is your dad a stay-at-home dad? Like, what's the relationship there, I guess, between the two and the larger family at all?
I feel like both of our parents are working parents, and
Sure.
so they are super relaxed with the fact that I have an after-school program because they don't have to worry too much about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Free
and then
babysitting, if you will.
basically, yes. And they're both probably in the like hospital scene, just because they want me to kind of either be, or like to kind of get into that like higher STEM.
Yeah, medical personnel. Makes sense, yeah.
Mhm.
Doctors in the 80s was a good profession, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah, so you get home, there's a note from your mom saying, like, hey, pull this stuff out for dinner type of thing. It's normal routine, just kind of put it in the sink to defrost and make sure it's ready to go when some adult gets home. Ronnie storms off to his room to kind of be Ronnie at that point.
I'm
But
gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go put the trash can in the garage and shove all of my hockey sticks and like hockey gear that I can distribute and stuff.
sure.
But otherwise, because mom's not home yet, or mom and dad's not home yet, I haven't taken my skates off. So like I'm in the kitchen.
Are you
with
skating in the house?
Yes, I am skating in an Asian
Oh,
household
good
while
God.
making rice.
Oh, good God. Oh, good God.
I'm skating in the household, making rice in the kitchen, and just kind of doing whatever.
This does not end well.
Oh no!
I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying I'm not doing anything bad with it, but this will probably not end well at some point in time. But yeah,
This isn't the first
so
time it's happened.
apparently, what position does Beck play out of curiosity? Like in hockey, is she a goalie? Is she a defenseman? Is she a striker?
Let's do striker.
Okay. All right, so she's a normal guy. Does she grab any of the hockey gear to go along, like padding? Like maybe is she armoring up, for lack of a better phrase, hypothetically for this, or is it just kind of grabbing the tools of the trade?
He's grabbing like I have a whole bunch of old hockey sticks and practice
Sure.
sticks. I'm not taking my game stick with me because
Sure.
like why would I waste my game stick with these guys? I have maybe like a helmet or a extra face mask, just in cases, and a whole bunch of like weird mismatched gear that's like missing a pair or has got a hole in it just because its back plays a little rough.
Sure. That makes sense. All right, cool. So, yeah, no one's home kind of thing. Normal afternoon for you at that point. Tyson, what is home like for you?
So Tyson comes from like a single parent household. His dad left when he was, maybe 8 years old. Same
Sure.
dad who used to watch scary movies with him at an inappropriately young age.
Yeah.
Eventually, kind of got fed up with Tyson's mom and moved out. Tyson's mom has never been the same since and is extremely sad all the time. From Tyson's point of view, she just seems very tired. When he does see her, she often misses picking him up from school or forgets about him altogether. He finds her, passed out from time to time from drinking or who knows. And it, I would say it's a coin toss whether or not she's even home
Sure.
when he gets home. And he's used to making his own TV dinners in the microwave.
Well, so this is kind of the start of a bunch of trailer park culture in the U.S. Like, what level of dysfunctional have things slipped to? Like, is it trailer park if they still have a house? Like, what is home?
She was left high and dry. Like they used to live in the suburbs, and they've kind of now are in like a double wide kind of.
Sure.
It's not a RV, but it's a
Yeah.
trailer park situation.
Yeah, the drift, if you will. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So that's where he would be, is just kind of home, either microwaving something to eat, maybe turning the TV on, or laying on the couch, which is his de facto bed.
Sure. Makes sense. Yeah. Any special kind of getting home thing you do at the end of the day type of thing, or you're just home at this point?
I mean, not in particular. He kind of felt probably a little bit bummed that he didn't have as much to contribute to like the
Sure.
like get ready for the plan. Like he's like, I'll get a rope, and the reason he said that is because there's like an old rope their dog used to be tied to outside, and that's like
Oh,
the
God.
only like useful tool that he could think of that's at his house. Um, and in terms of like, you know, like a normal routine, he would probably just microwave up something, watch some TV,
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah. So as you're kind of bumping through channels, you do find, so kind of on the news, there's still kind of some reports that there's been some clashing between the local police and HCE personnel at the crash site that happened about a week or so ago at this point. And some people in town have begun to get worried about the fact that HCE cleaners are still out there cleaning up. There's some people that are trying to move a petition around that's like, did something dangerous spill? Like what was, like, the crash was tragic. No one died, thankfully, but like, what did HCE spill in the grounds? Like, what could have possibly happened, type of thing. And it's more just kind of a news reporter reporting what's happening. Like, the town is so to have some unrest about this, but also no one's found anything bad just yet, so probably bump past it at that point.
Sure.
Tips. Sorry,
Would
keep going.
Tyson make any like connection there? I mean, from based on what I know, he's not extremely bright. So I don't know if he would immediately be like, "Aha, HCE
Yeah,
chemicals."
give me a comprehend. Let's see.
No bonus dice, just hit it. There we
Nice.
go. One success.
Yeah, so HCE is the big kind of weird science company in the town. Maybe you're not making an exact relationship of like, oh, the thing came from that, but like, weird HCE crash happens. People concerned about chemical spill. You saw a weird, technically a chemical thing out in the woods. Like, that's a logic you could make, kind of thing.
All right.
A
Yeah,
logic
Tyson's
jump
like,
one could
"Oh
follow.
shit." When he sees this news report, he's like kind of a few sparks, a few neurons are firing off in the right directions.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would probably keep it dialed into the news.
Yeah. No, it's just kind of repeating the same information. Like, it's shots of people being like, if there's nothing wrong with it, why are people still cleaning the area? And this affects traffic and rah, 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 rah. But last but not least, Chips. What is home for Chips?
Relatively middle class, 2.4 children. Parents still together, stay at home mum, office job, dad. So obviously got my older brother who may or may not be home at this time of the day. Any number of things the older teenagers are up to.
Sure.
But otherwise, yeah, it is. I spend most of my time up in the bedroom. When I get in, I'll throw the keyboard on a large pile of grey looking electronics. What's that color? That like yellow grey.
Yeah, that not quite yellow plastic. Yeah, that ages into that kind of not amber color eventually, given enough time.
Yeah. There's like a small pile of miscellaneous electronics at this keyboard that I took from the the places.
Do they all work, or is it just kind of a stack of like technology junk?
It's a stack of junk. However, before I completely disregard that keyboard, I will like unscrew the back and take the boards out from it.
Sure.
And then the plastic just gets discarded, and then the boards will join a different pile of like usable parts. Hence the name.
What is Chip? I was gonna say, what is Chip's trying to do with the stack?
It is very much like a home experiment. The 80s version of like a Raspberry Pi. Of like.
Yeah, so he's hoping if he gets enough kind of boards from various things, he can build a computer, or at least a computer-like thing out of it. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that makes
Arduino level of like hacking together bits and bobs and just trying to work out how it.
The best technology of the 80s was hacking stuff, after all. So yeah, it makes was hacked together stuff. So it makes sense. All right, cool.
And so everybody would think that I would live in my older brother's shadow, who is a more generic kind of, all-round, popular, fairly, athletic and intelligent kind of guy. But he's actually like super looking after me and sweet and not, between the two of us, there very much isn't that vibe at all.
Sure.
And the parents are just bummed out that I spend most of my time in my room with a soldering iron and not out with.
I can't believe we raised a nerd, honey. Where did we go wrong? There's so much nature out there for him to explore. And he's upstairs in that room with a soldering iron again. God damn it.
It's very much that like, oh, computers won't be a big thing. Why are you wasting your time on those? And I'm like, I can see
it's just
future.
A fad, yeah. Fad. Nintendo computers, all a fad.
So I'll have dinner and we'll do the, oh, how was your day? Oh, nothing much happened. I'm going upstairs now. And then we'll just ask for a science experiment to borrow my mum's dishwashing gloves, marigolds, whatever you guys call them on your side of the pond.
Yeah, gloves, right?
Yep.
Okay, because that's probably kind of a slightly strange request for a kid to make of their parents. Do you give an explanation for why you want these gloves, or just kind of like, hey, can I borrow the dish gloves?
Nah, Chips is going to be the kind of guy that will bamboozle mum with like pseudoscience. Oh, I'm running an experiment where the voltage needs to go through the ions, and the ions can sometimes be corrosive on the skin, and this, that, and the other, so much so that she's just like, do you know what? Just take them, and I don't care anymore. That's what I'm trying.
All right. Give me a charm on this. I just want to see how this one plays out, I guess. She's going to give you the gloves either way, but we're going to see if this is a okay, this makes sense, or if this is an okay, he's doing something weird with gloves now.
One success.
Yeah, so she kind of, through the bamboozling, is like, sure, whatever. Gloves.
Thanks, Mom. Bye. Yeah. And then I'll leave. I just realised now I'm channeling, and this might be a lost on you guys, but there's a sitcom in the UK called The IT Crowd. Very much.
Oh no, wait.
Moss.
Are you
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A bunch of tabletop RPG players not knowing what the IT Crowd is. That seems like a stretch.
Fair. Yeah. So that wasn't how I went into this, but apparently now I am. So yeah, that's now what I'm gonna run with. Thanks, mum. And then I'll disappear.
God. All right. So, anything you want to get done tonight before we kind of jump to the next day, or any other preparations you were planning on making, or just kind of we pick up the next day and it's game time, for lack of a better phrase.
to
I'm gonna-
go. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say I was gonna wrap my hockey sticks in like some PVC tape.
Okay.
To try to cover as much wood as possible, because they still are my hockey sticks, and I would like to have
Sure.
my practice sticks. Because I at least saw the fact that like plastic contained it for even just for a little bit. Because that's watching it eat that rake was kind of rough.
Yeah.
Kind of nuts.
Ah, sure.
Probably putting together like a little kit. Oh, sorry for interrupting you, Chips. Go for it.
Probably very similar to what you were just about to say, to be honest. Just a little go bag of, like trail mix and some bottles of water, and the only rubber gloves. And the only additional thing is I wanted to do is through my my calculator, of course, my graphic calculator, Casio. And then the only other thing I wanted to do is something between all the electronics and stuff. Is there something I could do to just make a very homemade DIY low voltage equivalent to a taser? It's just like a one-shot jolt of electricity, just to.
Yes. Give me a tinker to see if you can pull that together.
I'm not asking for like an actual one that shoots out and.
So that shocks
out of
things,
control.
though. I can work with
Yeah,
that.
just like a couple of like Duracells strapped together that will just give me a
Yeah.
one shot. Tinker.
Almost like a joy buzzer prank toy or something in some ways.
Yeah,
Like,
precisely. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
someone in the chat just said a juiced up joy buzzer. Actually, you said that, so that's perfect. Thank you, Mage.
That's 3 successes, so I'm quite happy with
all
that.
right. So yeah. So this is not just doable; it's quite doable. Like you managed to stumble around downstairs. And you find one of the. Thank God they're no longer used, but like the big 4-prong, the size of a small brick batteries, and kind of get this all like with some duct tape. It looks like you're kind of carrying a lunchbox with some sticks sticking out of one end of it, but like what you have, like it's not going to tase someone, but like this will hurt if you get hit with it, type of thing. It's not quite a cattle prod, but it's like this will be definitely noticeable if you kind of do that. How many charges it has, you may not totally know, but at the same time, it's just kid engineering. Like it's mostly duct tape and prayers.
Yeah, and when failing that, I just throw it at something, and that will.
Yeah.
Also...
80s batteries were great for that. When the battery was dead, you had a bludgeoning item at that point. Yes, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
I will then, after burning the midnight oil, that's Chips done for the night.
All right.
Just...
Does anyone in chat want to donate $7 so we can get another charge on that thing?
So, Tyson.
Oh,
I think we have a glitch.
There we go. We had a hiccup there for a second.
I'm not sure you can hear us.
I'm trying to like smoke signals work out what he's trying to articulate through the through the.
The stream is cursed.
It is cursed.
Let me message
Father
Nick.
Fumble, why have you Father Fumble has followed us into the stream. My bad.
I feel so bad. He let me go first, and then when it was his time, nope. Universe says no.
I just
Technological issues bound.
Message on Discord. Hey, your audio cut off.
Well, we got a minute. Let's talk about Extra Life, I guess.
Sure. So while we're waiting for microphone to come back, and then also Jad might be coming, or not Jad. Jad's already here. Dylan might be back shortly. Oh, and the video cut out. So now there's only 4. The gray goop is slowly but surely working its way to the rest of the cast.
Well, let me just say before I get cut off, it's been a pleasure. And yeah.
Oh god, it's got international.
It's inevitable.
Wait a
It's
second.
now a Pisces problem.
Yeah. But So I guess to kind of just talk about Extra Life for a bit here. If you guys don't know what Extra Life is, it is a nonprofit organization that raises money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the United States, Canada, Puerto Rico, and I think some other places now. It's been kind of expanding. So basically, it does if you can't show up to the hospital and they can't afford healthcare, they donate towards making sure that those kids get the treatment they need, especially because Dornbecker and other Children's Miracle Network hospitals do not turn patients away, regardless of if you're having insurance or not, and all that stuff. So, there's that, and yeah, so that's what we're raising money for. Yeah, did I miss anything? Oh, that actually specifically, we're raising money for Dornbecker, which is a local hospital where I live here in Portland, Oregon. So, yeah.
Cool.
We have a couple fun incentives, like if you want Charlie to destroy one of our roles, we can force him to answer your question directly, things like that. We've got a couple giveaways. The link is in the panel on the bottom somewhere. Don't take a gander, but yeah. And if you can't, I mean, spread the word, let people know. Even that is worth its weight in gold, and definitely appreciate it. So, thank you. That's spiel done.
As we need to pause for technical difficulties.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yay!
You're back. Yep.
Hey, oh, perfect.
Lovely.
Roll the success on escaping from the goop. You're back.
Oh no. That's right. I was
Only was that
mixing the
easy.
alcohol.
Wait.
So I'm not sure what the last thing Tyson was doing was heard. Nothing at all.
As soon as you started, it like the voice cut off, and then we could see you like going into explanation with your hands, but it was just radio silence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gesticulate a lot when I talk.
So Tyson, and then that was the.
In typical 80s fashion, it's very interpretive dance, but unfortunately, none of us are interpretive dance interpreters.
Excellent. So basically, I was my miming was me describing Tyson's kit. So basically, he is a less technical version of kind of a ready bag. He's wrapped up his rope with probably the collar still jingling on it, stuffs it into his bag. He gets his mom's most high test booze and then puts it into a squirt bottle. In his mind, he's like, yeah, I know this stuff lights on fire. I've lit things on fire before. And make sure that he can get like maybe 5 to 10 feet of range when he squeezes this bottle. And he's like, all right, maybe a couple rubber gloves, maybe a small bludgeoning object like a wrench. And then that's it.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense. Do you bring the booze bottle with you or just kind of spray bottle of booze?
So he would pour the booze into the spray bottle, refill the booze with water back up to the line where it's supposed to be and put it back. And then now he's got like his high test booze and his mom now has lower test booze.
Fantastic. All right, cool. So next day rolls around. It's all back to the parking lot to meet up.
Well, actually,
Right.
I don't think I ever went over my kit and the stuff that I.
I was glad. Yeah, it's up for we did the movie thing with you. So yeah, no, it's fair. What have you assembled for a kit for this?
So I obviously, since we were talking about rubber gloves and all that stuff before we broke apart, I have a pair of rubber gloves. I don't really have anything to freeze anything with, but I did remember them saying the fire thing. So, I do have notes from the video source. So like, I remember the guy mentioned liquid nitrogen. And so I figured I'd bring that up to the group when we meet up. But I also have some bottle of obscure alcohol. It's probably some gas station vodka or something, who knows, that I took from home. I also have some matches and a actually, I don't know if I would have access to a lighter, but I definitely would have access to matches. So I'll stick to matches on that one. So that and I guess another bludgeoning tool as well, just to kind of make sure I have that. But beyond that, I don't really have too much on me. Oh, and of course, I guess my iconic item, which is my battle vest. So
Sure.
Yeah, and that's it for me as far as kit goes.
Sounds good. Yeah, so as I was saying, next
vest, like a rocker, heavy metal.
All
vest.
the patches.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a charisma buff, I think, personally, for me. or at least something. But yeah, it'll come in handy. It's my iconic item, so it'll come in handy for when we're engaged with whatever is happening.
Yeah. All right, so you meet up. As I was saying, you meet up the next day. It's easy enough to get back there. You all agree on a time and place, and yeah, no complications about getting there. What are you doing? You've been given kind of a couple things worth investigating. You going back into the woods? Like, what's the plan beyond? Hey, we're all here now. We got stuff to go monster hunting with.
When we meet up, I'm going to distribute a hockey stick per person, as
All
well as
right.
a bottle of Gatorade, because that's what I got. I have some like equipment or whatever the heck, maybe like a knee pad, maybe like an elbow pad. I don't know who fits into this helmet, but if you can fit into this helmet, you're good.
I signal pass because I don't want to get my long hair in a helmet. So I'm like, yeah, I'll pass.
I'll take a helmet. I'll take a helmet.
All right, man. Let's get you geared up at least. You gotta protect that noggin of yours, right?
Safety fast.
And as we're kind of getting this stuff distributed, I look over the group and I pull out like the little notes that I had from the video start. I'm like, hey, so I talked to the guy about the Blob movie, and they didn't have it, but they did mention something about liquid nitrogen. I don't know what that is. You guys are the science guys, so yeah, something about liquid nitrogen. I don't know where it is or how accessible it is to you guys. I don't know if we need to take some from the science lab, if they even have any. But also fireworks. So I've got some alcohol and matches if we need to set it on fire. So do with that knowledge what you will. Science nerds.
Ronnie used to buy fireworks from Chinatown pretty easily. But that's all the way in like Fort. Does Boring have a Chinatown?
No,
Probably not, no.
Boring's a small town.
It's a bit bigger in this situation because of the loop, but yeah, no, it's still small town-ish.
Okay. But
maybe has one or
Ronnie
two
won't come out of his
restaurants, but
room, so I don't think I can ask him for any of his fireworks right now.
Yeah, I mean, should we go back to where we last saw it, or should we like put our ear to the ground, so to speak, and see if anyone reports another animal missing, and so we can kind of figure out where its current position is? Has anybody got an idea of like how we even find this thing to catch it?
Like, where did it even come from? Like, how? Like, did it come from like Boring, or was it like taken into
I saw something
Boring?
on the news. I did. Like there was this big truck that overturned and like chemicals spilled out of it. Maybe not. It's like HCE.
Yeah,
There
so
was a big cleanup and stuff.
yeah, so the HC, or was it those guys keep checking out the Blob, which is why it wasn't in stock. They keep watching the movie. They didn't give me specifics on who, but they're all guys who work there. And so there was a crash site. So if there's any place we would find it, I would say let's go to the crash site.
Place to start for sure. Let's do it.
Does anyone know where the crash site is? Is it like in town?
Yeah, I saw it on
or-
the news. It's over on,
that's you would know where it is. Like, it's not a huge town, but like, yeah,
On
the
Highway
place that
8.
the crash is happening. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I've got my roller skates. Do you guys have like bikes or anything else like that?
Yeah, well, I've got my back
Yeah.
outside.
I don't have a bike. I can run pretty fast.
Do you have a skateboard? I could pull you.
I think
Like
I
a
can get a skateboard.
So can I say that my bike has those two pegs on the back
The
wheel?
pegs, yeah.
So that way
Sure.
I can have a passenger on there. Okay, cool.
Sure.
And so I'll let Tyson know. I've got pegs on mine. You can just hang on, and you can ride on my bike with me.
All right, you got it. Sounds good.
Chips, do you have a bike or like a scooter?
Can we say, I don't know if it's going to take the piss now, but can we say I've got like an electric bike? Like I've put a motor on it. Is that pushing the boundaries of my computer geek knowledgery now?
I mean, like, putting bikes on motors, like, mopeds were a thing back in this time span. Like, the age-old tradition of attaching essentially like a weed whacker motor to a bike is something we were definitely doing back in the 90s because it was stupid to do and it was fun. I'd say it's probably a little bit beyond the scope of your age
fair.
necessarily. Yeah.
That's fair. In which case, then, yeah, no, I got my passed me down from my brother, and it's a little bit too big for me, and I look very awkward riding it. But I do have a bike.
Next. All right, so it's kids on bike and kid on skateboard, or not skateboards, roller skates out to the crash site.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so picture your favorite montage music going along with this. Whatever you wish on this one. That's just kind of the wind is in your hair as you bike and or skate. I enjoy the fact that one of you is skating, arguably a much slower form of transportation than the other two, but somehow still keeping up. So it's like 3 kids biking normal, and then just power skating, just like doing wind sprints to keep up with this the entire way. It's really a testament.
Is there any inclines on the way to the crash site? Because they're going to be.
I'm assuming yes, just to make the scene even weirder in that regard. But yeah, it's really a testament to Beck's sports prowess that she's keeping up through all of this.
Beck is a hockey player. She does not skip leg day.
This is fair.
Yeah, so you get to the outskirts of town. Takes about an hour to get there, give or take, type of thing. And yeah, so the truck that was the truck that caused the accident's long gone. But now there are 3 kind of those, like, the not vans, like the larger, almost like I call them the pesticide trucks, but like that boxy, like almost like an ambulance-looking vehicle of some kind. You see 3 of those with just big letters and nondescript, friendly corporate lettering, HCE on the sides of them, just parked there, and you see a variety of people in. It's weird. For some, that's not a problem. The people milling about are either wearing those like pullover rubber suits, or they're wearing very formal suits, and really working quite hard to keep people away. They've even roped it off. They have some caution tape about. The people in suits are walking around just kind of telling people to go away. The people in the rubber suits, though, they're very much, they got instruments, they're looking for stuff. Like, they are quite active, as best you can tell, in this vicinity. And they've roped off quite a large space. Like, easily kind of, from where you're kind of standing on the road, like, it's easily kind of like, use meters for a second for our guest, like about 50 meters kind of length, and then going back into the woods some, or about 50 yards, give or take, for us American players. But yeah, they have claimed quite a distance.
I appreciate the translation. Thank you.
Is any of this detection equipment like unguarded? Like, could we go get a blob detector or whatever it is that they were like sweeping?
If you want to try and like sneak up on this, you absolutely can try, but that will require some rolls at that point. And HCE is HCE. They're not exactly a friendly family company necessarily. They're good to the town, but at the same time, they are the loop. Like they're a bit. As kids, you don't know much about them, type of thing. They drive their trucks around town. They sponsor probably several events. Like you've probably heard your parents complaining about. Like, there's a decent chance all your parents, in some way, shape, or form, work indirectly or directly for the loop. They're the big player in town at that point too. Like I'm not quite saying it's like a Uniontown type of situation, but more like they're just the biggest employer, and most people have some tie to them, and they're about. You see them about, type of thing. Would you want to try and steal some gear?
Yeah, I want to hop off the pegs and kind of like split off a little bit and be like, hey, I'm going to try and get some of that stuff. And then kind of sneakily make my way up to, if there are any, crates that are unguarded, or if there's like a place where they're hanging their unused suits, like their bio suits, anything that I could grab that could be useful to the mission, and then just like stuff it in my backpack.
All right, let's see a sneak.
Chip's just going to ask, make sure you get some of those suits, as I figure that the marigolds I have in my bag are now woefully not up to standard.
All right, here comes the sneak roll. Do I add any bonus die to this?
Nope.
Oh man, no.
Unless someone wants to go and help by like making a distraction or something. Like,
yeah, I'll help with the distraction part.
All right.
What
are you doing for a distraction?
How how big of a distraction do we like? Well, is it a pretty open area, or is this kind of just like a closed offish area?
It's the side of a road type of situation. Like it's middle of nowhere. Like there's no buildings to obscure you or anything like that. Like, but at the same time, like maybe a kid trying to enter into the cordoned off area might get a reaction from some people. Like creating a distraction, relatively easy. How big you want to go on that distraction is all up to you.
Okay, how many people am I looking to distract in proximity to where we're trying to have the sneak happen?
I'll say there are kind of 7 scientist-looking people, or kind of the people in the rubber suits, and 2 more agenty-looking people seem to be kind of controlling the scene some.
Okay. Are they working on anything delicate at the moment? Because like I can just walk over there and be like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" and just kind of be that like annoying kid asking questions over and over and over.
You could definitely do that. The scientist-looking people are kind of wandering around with various devices. They kind of seem to bend down, pick something up, or they also have metal detectors they're scanning the area for. Like it's kind of hard to, without context, know exactly what they're doing or exactly what they're searching for. They have a method to their madness, you're sure, but at the same time, it's like watching someone paint a house. If you don't know they're painting a house, it's just because they have a bunch of weird tools beforehand.
Okay, so I'm just gonna very casually and if there's any I guess roped off or blocked off areas, I'm just gonna very casually cross over to it and walk over to whatever group of scientists to kind of pull the line of sight away from the sneak action and walk over and be like, "Hey, what you guys doing?"
All right, give me a charm to see if this distracts people.
0 successes on this one.
All right, so you kind of say that, and just one of the kind of managers, if you will, of the site just kind of walks over, is like, "Kid, go away. It's roped off. Like we don't need to be here," type of thing. For your own protection, where the cleaners are working.
Are there any spare metal detectors on the ground? Like, do they have any of their equipment sitting down there nearby?
Not near where you're standing, no.
Okay. So what I'll do then is I'll say, "All right, well, I'll help you guys out," and I run over to grab one of their equipment items that's sitting on the ground and pick it up and just start pressing buttons.
Yeah, so Guy Cam comes over, grabs the thing from you, just kind of pushes you back lightly, and just like, "Kid, go away."
But I just want to help, and then I go and reach for the item again.
All right, so while this happened, there's actually a local PD that's kind of across your ID cards coming over to break this up, because who knows how she's going to respond. I'm going to jump back to Tyson, so you got a 1 on your success, so yeah, you do kind of manage to sneak around for some of this. Like, it's not perfect, but yeah, what are you trying to get to? You're trying to grab one of the devices, trying to find something useful. What is the goal?
So I would say my number 1 priority would be unguarded. My second priority would be things like for protection, like either a suit or something along those lines, or just like heavy duty, like chemical gloves.
Sure.
And then like third place would be detection equipment, like either the metal detectors or if they've got other Geiger counters or whatever type of weird science detection thingies they have.
Yeah.
That would be my third, priority. So hidden PPE detection.
That makes sense. Yeah, so kind of you do successfully kind of sneak up. They have a stack of crates near one of the trucks that no one's paying any attention to. It's got a spare kind of rubber suit in it. It's also got, maybe not the full metal detector thing, but kind of looks like a large calculator, some kind of 2 prongs at the end that you see some people wandering around with. Like it's got that in there too. So you kind of grab that and you're making your way back. Jumping back though to James. So the cop kind of comes over at this point. He's like, "All right, what seems to be the problem here?"
So I look over at the officer, and I'm going to try to charm the officer by saying, "This guy hit me. This guy hits kids."
Officer kind of looks at you. "Calm down, son."
And so
It was just you.
Oh, go ahead.
Just go.
I was just trying to look at some of the stuff that they have going on here because it's part of my schoolwork, and this guy pushed me and hit me.
Who are your parents again, boy?
They're at home. And actually, well, my mom was dating Ranger Rick, and he's been gone recently, and so I was just kind of helping out here with remembering Ranger Rick, and this guy hit me. Why are you not looking at this dude? He hit me.
Well, if there's one thing we all know Ranger Rick valued was respecting people's property, and well, it's not your property, and you should just go home, kid.
Okay,
While I see the fact that James is James is talking to the officer, and the officer isn't really doing super well, I want to. Is there any rocks on the ground?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the Northwest Road. Yes, there are rocks near a Northwest Road.
Hi, I'm taking a hockey stick and I'm gonna slapshot a rock into the police officer's car. My mom is gonna kill me.
Let's see a force. We're going full on delinquent this stream.
Chip's just freaking out, man. I love authority.
Oh man.
Yeah!
One success.
Alright, so the rock hits the side of the cop car hard, and the cop just kind of whips around like, son of a bitch, and starts running off after you at this point. Give me a move to see if you can get away.
I'm in my custom inline skates, baby.
Yep.
Two successes.
Yeah, so you are on skates, so it makes a certain amount of sense you get away. So the cop's just chasing you and kind of puts up an effort for about 20 feet or so. He's very aware he can't catch a kid on skates type of thing, and just kind of stops, angrily stands there for a couple minutes, and it's just like, God damn it.
So while this is so just to throw it out there, we have another dono for an auto pass on any player roll, so we can put that in the chamber in case we need it.
Remember to use those, by the way, because I'm not going to remind you.
Okay, yeah. So players, remember we technically have 2 auto pass goes right now in the chamber. So if we fail one, we have 2 we can use. So
all right, so yeah.
While that's also, and again, thank you, Randy Bishop, for that one. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So while that's going on, is there any other interesting, I guess the question is where they have some of the tech stuff where I was hanging out with the guy. Is there anything interesting I can grab and then just kind of book it since we're still technically distracting?
Yeah, so let me rephrase. I will let you grab and we'll deal with this later type of thing. So,
okay.
Grab, give me a move.
All right. 1 success.
All right, so kind of you grab a fistful of something, you're not quite sure what, that was near what you were standing by, and just take off running.
Okay. And as I'm doing that, I am looking back at the at Tyson to see what if they're done with needing the distraction, because I've been kind of just milking this out for a bit and make sure that they have enough time. So yeah, I grab and book it.
Yeah, so Tyson's busy sneaking about. So Chips, you see James running off. You see Beck skating off. A cop chasing Beck. You see kind of Tyson slowly just kind of dragging some stuff away. What are you doing in this instance?
Minor panic attack for 30 seconds as I consider my life choices that has brought me to this moment.
Roll to hyperventilate.
Because a criminal record is not good for the CV, guys. I can't stress that enough.
As we all know, your permanent record will follow the rest of your life and other lives we were told in the 80s.
Yeah, it's a very real fear now. But can I be observing, and you said that a bunch of the HC guys were wandering around and doing various science bits.
Yeah.
Can I try and get a bearing on what is they're trying to really do or search for or achieve? I want to try and mine some of their knowledge so when we ever go back, if they don't find the blob, I want to be able to be like, well, it looks like they were looking for magnetic trails. Maybe we could do that.
Yeah, give me a comprehend.
Cool. There she blows. 1.
Alright, so they're definitely wandering around with some scanners, but also, now that you're kind of taking a little more time to kind of stare at this and really kind of focus, they're taking soil samples. They're digging stuff up, they're putting it in little machines, seems to be analyzing it. It's not... Maybe they're searching something with the scanners, but it's not the main focus. What they're doing definitely seems to be kind of looking for something. I will go so far as to say, like, you do see them at one point pick up a larger than you've come across, but kind of like maybe the size of like a golf ball or something, chunk of this hardened grayish plastic stuff, and they kind of get very excited about that, and they then kind of dump it into a bag, and it dissolves. It does look like there's some liquid in the bag or something, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, that's my time was spent observing. When two of us have run off though, right now at this point. I will wait. I will wait for Tyson. I want no man left behind. So I'll continue being like, I'm just a bystander. Don't mind me until I see Tyson's.
Just here staring at road work. Nothing suspicious about this at all.
Ah, the ground here is ground.
Yes. Makes a certain amount of sense. Yeah, no. Alright, so anything else you two want to do before you exit the scene? Other two that have run off at this point because they're being pursued by the law and or the not quite law.
Nah, when I'll wait for Tyson to come back with his haul and then help him. Like, oh, you seem to have fallen over. Let me help you up, and let's leave now.
Tyson's like, yeah, we got everything we need here for sure. No more information we could have collected. Let's do it.
Perfect. Let's go, because the other two have already gone.
They're already gone? I said distraction. I didn't. Oh, okay. Let's go.
Can
I don't have a bike with pegs to ride on now.
Well, technically, I ran, so my bike is left behind.
Ah, okay. So I'll scoop up the vacant bike and bring it.
Nice.
All right. We'll retcon this some. Did you guys pick a place to reconvene later on at some point, or?
I guess we're on the mission to store the Harpers.
Yeah, we're gonna meet at Harper's.
Right. Gotcha. That's it for you to meet back at the store. Works for me. Yeah. So 2 more hours pass. You all kind of reconvene there with your stolen loot, and let's go for what you've got. So yes, you were successful in grabbing kind of one of the adult-sized biohazard rubber suits we're all familiar with from movies. One of the kind of Game Boy-looking controllers they had looking thing. It has a spot you can dump stuff into. It's got an analyzer of some kind, maybe so there is an analyze the dirt in some instances. The thing, though, that James managed to grab was actually... He thought he was grabbing something more impressive. He actually managed to grab a binder. And the binder simply has, in kind of, again, very boring corporate text across the outside of it, PETVC-116 containment protocols.
So I get there and I slam the binder down and say, okay, I did my part. This is where you guys do your thing. I'm not a reader, so have fun with that. And then I just kind of set it down near them and just kind of lean back and cross my arms and kind of wait to see what they say after what I got.
Yeah. Chips will throw himself at the binder, and that'll be me for the next hour.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to take some time to flip through this. But yeah, so we'll kind of fast forward this thumb, or kind of, again, dip into your favorite studying montage, if you will. You make with this binder. It's lots of very heavy technical jargon stuff, but what you managed to pull out is that the lead scientist on the project was a man named Joshua Wilkes. And whatever this stuff is, it was initially designed to be a self-replicating industrial sealant and kind of like winterizer for houses. The idea being that like you could manufacture more by feeding it essentially, and you could like have just more to stretch out type of thing. Like the whole idea, the initial idea behind it was that you'd have like a drum of this on work sites and you dump all of your refuse or kind of excess materials into it. It would just grow more of it, and then you would stretch it around the outside of a house to seal it for kind of weatherproofing purposes. But it was being transported because there was a breach and it doesn't quite work as intended, and it was being moved to a containment facility for such materials. It does note that the material does not enjoy extreme heat, extreme cold, acidic environments, or electricity. Basically, anything that can cause it to change state into a hardened surface of some kind causes it problems. In theory, the material will degrade over time so long as it's not fed it does in theory have a half-life on it, where if it was kept in an environment where it didn't have more things to absorb, it would eventually just kind of harden and go away. UV is also, though, it makes some reference to kind of exposure to UV light in some ways is prone to hardening and kind of filming small quantities of it.
Okay. I will relay all of that in as layman's terms as possible to the rest of the gang, and suggest that if we do go after the blob, we go after it in the daytime on the fact of the UV. Every little helps.
Well, if we're going for it in the daytime, then that means it's trying to hide somewhere where the sun isn't as bright and everything else like that. So that totally makes sense as to why it was inside the forest.
Yeah, it does.
But that means it's super dangerous at night.
Yeah. Let's avoid at night. But did anyone? I didn't bring. Did anyone bring anything that can make a fire?
So at hearing that, I whip over my backpack and I slam down a bottle of alcohol and a box of matches.
Rockgut's finest.
Yeah. Everyone's favorite gas station liquor, and a box of matches, and be like, I stole this from the house. So we could probably use this to start a fire, but I don't know if you guys have any. Are there any paper towels around here? Like, I look around to see if there's like any paper towels or cloth stuff, just so I can like soak some.
Yeah, there's probably something, like newspaper or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can like set this on fire and throw it at it. Like, got something. I don't have any ice stuff, but I sure as heck have fire stuff.
Yeah, I got alcohol too. I just shake the squirt bottle.
Am I the only person who didn't bring a bomb? What?
No bombs.
This isn't a bomb. This is just portable fire.
Did you bring? You bought matches, right, James?
Dads, I've had a long day, juice.
Yeah. No, I have a big box of fresh matches, so we got plenty of matches here.
Give me the matches, and Tyson, give me the squirty thing.
So I'm gonna pass the matches over.
I want to make a flamethrower. I want to affix the match to the end of the squirty tube, and so that we can light it. And when you squirt, it just squirts out flames.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
Well, it may not set it on fire, but I think it would work like a little like deterrent. Like if it, when you spray water on the cat's face and it goes like and like goes away. Maybe we could do that to the blob. It'll just kind of. So, I see where you're going with it. I like that.
Well, if you need any kind of like cloth or anything else like that, and I just kind of ruffle through my my game bag, I think I have some like towels. They haven't been washed, but otherwise I have some towels.
Oh god.
Even better, because you won't need to wash them after all.
I'm just gonna rip up some of the towels then, if they need to be ripped up.
All right.
So I'll grab the ripped towels and throw it in my backpack just to have it with the bottle on standby.
Makes sense.
I'll have some, and I'll put them with my water to douse them in water, and then use them as a burn treatment. Should that eventuality come to fruition.
And Kids with Fire is a great combination, as we all know.
Yeah. In a forest, no less.
In a forest.
Tyson gives the alcohol to has already given the alcohol away, and he's like, hey, if it comes to fire, just keep it away from me. All right, I don't like fire.
No worries. I'll handle the fire stuff then.
Cool. You can help me with this. And like I give you and I kind of bring up the hockey stick and
all right. Makes sense. So where are you off to, I guess, at this point? You gotta try and like comb the woods? Like what's the plan? Like you've geared up, for lack of a better phrase. We'll say it's probably around like noon.
Noon? Okay.
I would think like anywhere the land is low and near roads would have like storm drains and stuff that were big and this thing could hide in. So
Potentially.
I would say like that seems like a probable hiding place, or any place where like if there's a cliff face near the road, then looking for like caves or openings in that might be a useful place to look. But I, and I
Makes
said that.
sense.
Let's pretend I said that as a 14-year-old boy's voice.
No,
Did we
you have to go explore the sewers.
what- we're at the site where we first saw it, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there anything, can I find anything that looks like what the agents were doing and finding and putting in bags and or soil or anything that looks, I want to emulate what they were doing as close as possible.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Well, I think we still have that bag from the first time. We could probably scrape off some stuff and just test to see how like whatever that brick is works. Do you know how to use it?
I'm gonna just hand the little Game Boy analyzer thing to Chip and be like, "This is your arena."
All right, yeah, let me test some residue then. I know it's inert, but the agents were super chuffed with their inert finds. So if there's any spherical looking blobs left over, then
Yeah, you can probably go find some of the alley you first found it in. So yeah, finding some of that residue is possible. It's got to feed a sample into it essentially.
yeah.
All right,
Is more
so
confidence?
so because you are kids, what it reads out doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but when you do put this stuff in, it does make a variety of noises and some lights happen and some readouts scroll across it. Like it definitely seems to say like, hey, there's some of this stuff, and I'll kind of give you one on. If you mix it with some dirt, it kind of seems to detect the same thing, and then with no dirt, it has none of this or has no reaction to it. It's just kind of it seems to be designed or at least calibrated to track whatever this thing is specifically. So you're not quite sure what it's saying necessarily, but it definitely does say that there is some of that stuff there versus not necessarily.
But there's no. It's not like actively. It's not like a radar. It's not actively tracking it. It's
No,
just
it's a sample analyzer. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah.
what we encountered yesterday is definitely what 100% confirmed it came out of that truck, and is what this binder describes. So
Sure.
we're definitely doing our bit for boring by taking it out.
Okay, so we can track if it's been there, but we don't know where it's at. Does the binder say anything about what it likes to be in? Like it said it needs some sort of or it needs to stay fluid. Does it need to be around like a water source? Does it need to be around like a specific temperature?
You want to dig into the binder a little bit more?
Yeah.
All right. So give me a comprehend as you're kind of flipping through the binder in more detail, looking for some of this stuff.
Just use the auto pass.
Not bad use for it actually.
Do you
Hey,
reckon?
good choice.
Should we?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you
Everyone
got a couple of them.
We have two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll use that then, and we'll just. Do I still need to roll, or it just?
Nope, that's an auto pass at that point. Yeah. Yeah. So you notice a couple things as you're kind of going through this in more detail now. They're trying to like formulate a plan. One, the notes that this binder has in it never refer to it as a thing. Like, it doesn't even seem to think it has a sentience to it. It's more just kind of like, hey, we have this stuff, it does these things. It's very matter of fact. Like, it's not... I'm not sure I'm phrasing this correctly, but basically, like, it doesn't think of it as alive or spreading or even mobile in this. It's more just like, hey, we're containing it because it doesn't work correctly. I'd say that based on that, the scientists may not know it's as sentient or at least mobile as you seem to have figured out, or you've witnessed, I guess, at this point, not so much figured out, but that's definitely a thing. Yeah, so it doesn't even talk about what environment would need to be in or anything like that. It does say that like, was being transported in a large kind of like industrial liquid containment for some vehicle. no light kind of thing. Like, it wants to be kept away from light, wants to be kept away from heat, wants to be kept away from extreme cold. Again, it reemphasizes it doesn't do so well changing back to a solid. That seems where it seems to start breaking down. It does mention, though, that if you got the ratio right, mixing the solid back with enough liquid would hypothetically turn that back into the material. It will essentially what's the right phrase? Hydrate and then return back to being the slime stuff. Or the goop.
So yes, quite possibly somewhere where there's a water supply, and in the dark.
It's dark inside of Harper's, and I point at the empty hardware store. Maybe we should check in there first since we're already here.
It's returned back, yes.
So as you're all talking about this, Ronnie kind of rides up. He's no longer blowing this whole thing off, like he's feeling left out or something like that.
FOMO.
Ronnie, I could have used you so earlier. I had to slap shot a rock into the side of a police officer's car. So just so
What?
you know, yeah, you need to participate more often because you can like do stuff you happen to like too.
I guess you're right. Man, is that still an option?
No, but do you still have those fireworks that you bought from Chinatown?
Probably back at home, yeah.
Cool. We might
Why? Are we burning stuff?
maybe. So remember the blob thing yesterday?
The alien, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't like fire.
Okay. You want me to
Are
get
we-
my arsons kit? Gonna
Your
burn some
what?
stuff? What?
I perk up at the sound of arson kit, and I'm like,
I just revealed that Ronnie has like at home like bags labeled like arson, breaking and entering, mischief.
General mischief.
Yeah, I can
General
go,
kit.
go swing home real fast and see what I can find.
You have an art. You know what? Never mind. Like, what is it that Dad says all the time? Something reliability. I'm gonna
I don't
invoke
listen
that.
to him. Sure. I mean, you just need paper and fire, and I'm sure we can deal with that. You have a
Hmm.
lighter, right, Tyson?
No.
we've got matches here, and I shake the box of matches.
Perfect. Let's burn some stuff.
I casually kind of look over and say, how does an arson kit not have matches, though? I feel like that's a key ingredient in an arson kit.
Well, I don't have the kit with me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we could like lure it into the hardware store and
Let's not burn down the hardware store.
Yeah, when you start talking about burning down a building, like Tyson is just like really looking upset and just kind of like, no
Is-
fires like that. We can't set anything on fire.
Is the hardware store open, or is it an abandoned hardware store?
It's abandoned.
I kind of look over. I mean, it is abandoned.
And it's still gonna get me expelled, and I'm not gonna be able to get into a good college with a good hockey program.
look, I'm not a psycho. I wouldn't want to burn down a building with people inside it. But it's like, look, it's just there's just
Tyson
trash
is,
everywhere. People don't
really
use it
looking
anymore.
pale.
That's the last plan. That's plan F. I think is probably for the best.
As long as it's on the list of plans, I'm happy.
Yep.
What if?
I'm kind of leaning in Ronnie's direction. I like the fire building idea.
Okay, but what if instead of the hardware store, it's like a non-flammable area where you guys can still deal with whatever this is, but also maybe not cause, I don't know, a large-scale fire within the town and community?
Like the bin, the trash can.
Or like the
Large scale
sewers?
fire, town and community. Tyson's just like, And then he just throws up on the ground.
No fire in the building, I think it's safe to say.
Tyson, are you okay? Do you need?
I'm
I
just not feeling good, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can we go look in
Let's.
the hardware store and see if we can find this thing, or look in the woods or something? Let's just stop talking about fire so much.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Here, drink some Gatorade. This will help restore your electrolytes.
To help settle your stomach.
while that's happening, I look over at Ronnie and wink like fire.
I would wink on camera for you too, but I'm already doing it.
Fire will cleanse.
Fire cleanses all.
These are really good future Delta Green operators right here.
They are. Delta Green agents in the making, if you will.
Yeah, especially given F Cell's history, but that's negative modifier lore right there. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go make sure that Tyson's doing all right. You guys figure out how we're gonna deal with the thing. You guys are going inside the hardware store right now?
Let's see if it's in there right now.
Cool. I'm gonna stick back and make sure Tyson's okay.
Can I have one of your big sticks?
Oh yeah. And I hand a goalie stick to Chips.
Excellent.
Do these that adult-sized hazmat suit, the fact that you made it, you said adult-sized, am I to understand that it's not going to fit very well?
I mean, you can wear it, it'll just look ridiculous.
Oh, I don't care about looking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm a
You
nerd.
can totally wear it. It might be a bit of a deterrent and if you need to run real fast, but you can wear it, just it won't fit well.
Okay.
It'll be like you're wearing a squished up Michelin Man type of thing. You'll be like you'll be swimming in it.
Yeah, I'll put that on. And listen, anyone else want to come watch my back?
I'll come and assist.
Yeah, I'll come too.
Yeah,
Dark
Tyson's like making his way too. But he just doesn't look good.
Are you wearing the hazmat suit over your helmet that you already have, or are you taking it off, putting the hazmat suit on, and then putting the head? Okay.
Over. Safety first. I want 2, maybe 3 layers of redundancy, if possible.
Okay.
At least the helmet's nice and snug on the top with the suit there. The rest of it you're kind of swimming in, but that top part, nicely filled in.
I will take like debuffs to visibility as I'm having the visor and the helmet is just really inhibiting what I can see right now.
No, I get you. All right, so you're breaking in now into the event at the now out of business hardware store.
Yeah.
All right. How you going about doing that? I guess like you're gonna try and bust in the door. You're gonna try and find an entrance. Like what's the play to get inside?
Smash a window.
All right. I can do that on your free because it's really goddamn easy to do. So yeah, the stuff to move around, you can just bust through the window with a rock or a brick or something. You can use a stick to kind of push the rest of the glass through, and then move some stuff to crawl in because you can make makeshift ladders pretty easily. And yeah, you can easily enter Harper's Hardware.
I want to look around. Is it still in the middle of the afternoon?
Yeah.
Cool. How much natural lights?
Some, not a ton. Like they have boarded up the window, so it's not like great illumination in there, but there is some light leakage in.
Is there like an electric switch around that I could see?
Yeah, you can try it.
Yeah, I want to give it a shot.
The building's abandoned, it has no power. Why would that work?
I don't know. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe it's part of like another there's a unit that's actually still like usable or something. I don't know.
No, fair.
Did it have a generator outside?
No.
Boo. Okay. Is there? Well, it's a hardware store, meaning it would have sold flashlights. Is there still?
Yeah. So we're out of business. If you described it closed down. So what's left is just kind of row upon row of empty shelving. There's a couple of boxes of like nails or something. Anything worth value got either plucked or sold off as part of the process a while ago.
Could we perhaps make a makeshift torch out of the rubble and the outside and like a 2x4?
I would say with flashlights because the thing kids would have in the 80s. Like, it's a thing you can have.
Great.
Let's use
Yeah.
flashlights. Let's not cause another one of our team members to just lose his lunch.
While we're going into this dark building, Ronnie keeps his sunglasses on too.
Of course. All right.
I guess
Tyson is following but hanging back. Kind of seems like a little bit more distant than he was, and just like he's a little bit pale, but he is
Yeah.
soldiering on and following the team.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Tyson and make sure that they're okay as they're kind of moving along there. So I'll stick near Tyson for support.
All right. Yeah, so you search the abandoned hardware store, the now out of business hardware store is probably more accurate, and you find a couple of the kind of residue things, but like nothing that indicates this thing's been here. You do find several kind of like partially eaten shelves. Like it definitely seems to have a preference for metal. Like a lot of the metal in this place has been plucked up by this thing and gobbled up, but like it's not making its nest here, especially because there's not enough of the stuff to indicate a lot's been there. You find the occasional splotcher that's definitely dried off all the way out at this point, but yeah, it's just a big empty hardware store.
As we're kind of coming in and stuff, I want to kind of walk by to Chips and just kind of whisper to him, "Hey, do you remember anything about skin contact in that binder?"
Do I?
I did not mention touching it.
I'm shout at you through the hazmat suit. No, it didn't say specifically, but we saw it.
Why are you yelling?
I just thought it might be hard to hear through the.
Chips, just unzip. Why? Everyone can hear you now. I'm whispering at you for a reason.
What handbook?
God damn it!
I as a player, I didn't know that's what you were going for either.
I snuck by next to you and I was like, "Hey, bud."
Oh, I feel bad now.
Not to alarm the rest of the people in our group. Not to alarm them!
I mean, the book was probably out like when Ronnie showed up, so
Ronnie's too cool to read. That's for nerds.
true. Oh yeah, in that case, I'll leverage that and say it's just a book full of words and numbers and like algebra and stuff.
Hey, you're just saying stuff that I don't understand. I'm gonna go back to doing this, and he pushed over a shelf.
Good. Busy yourself with that. Then I will in hushed tones say no, but I would suggest caution as we saw it consume that poor animal.
Yeah, but like, okay, so I think it's because of the fire, but like Nick touched the goo and then now is like super sick. Like, what if it's like also a vampire? And like Nick's also now turning into an alien goo vampire.
I appreciate the hypothesis. Let's keep a close eye to see if there's any more symptoms. I would suggest donning your gloves as a matter of importance, though, in the meantime, just in case.
Okay.
Oh, who looked after him? No,
That was me.
It was you. What, just a second ago when he was poorly?
Yeah.
Did you did you wipe his face or anything?
No, but I gave him some of my Gatorade and like I haven't drank out of it since, so I have this. And I hand him the Gatorade bottle. Oh my gosh, is my Gatorade infected?
Oh, it's quite possible. I need to run tests. I'll put it in the analyzer.
Just detects Gatorade.
Yeah. Just...
Does it detect which flavor? Is it like Riptide Rush?
I'm not sure Gatorade existed yet. Actually, I'm not quite sure when that came into being.
I think
The story of
Gatorade
why it's
did
called
exist in the
Gatorade, but-
80s.
60s.
Yeah.
Gatorade was invented in the 60s, and like everything was Gatorade branded in the 80s.
Yeah, it was founded in 1965.
Yep.
Wow.
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't keep up on my sports drink history, unfortunately, maybe the way I should.
Weirdly enough,
Yeah,
I think...
it's just Gatorade.
All right.
I say the machine is telling me it's just Gatorade, but I'm not sure I understand it well enough. So
Well, let me rephrase. It doesn't have the reaction of, "Hey, there's this goop stuff present." It's not saying, "Hey, this is Gator." It's just like
It doesn't brand
liquid.
It
Yeah.
just went,
we should pour it away at an earliest convenience, just to be safe. Until we can be certain there's no transmission.
Okay.
Although now you mention it, Tyson does seem pretty keen on finding it, getting back to the blob. Keep an eye.
All right.
I just pour the game, just like pour it on the floor. And then
Man,
slowly, with a poker face, just zip back up the hazmat suit. Morosely.
I'm going to put on my hockey gloves. So now I have hockey gloves on. As I'm
Tyson just
looking through-
walks up and puts his arm around his two companions. Like, what are you guys whispering about? I'm feeling a lot better.
That's good. I'm going over here now.
Hey, if you guys got a secret, you can tell me. It's cool. I'm not like these other two losers. Come on.
Be Tyson, your goof friend. I mean, your normal friend.
I love wearing skin and breathing air, just like you.
And enjoying eating small woodland creatures like everyone does.
Like everybody does. No, nothing at all. We just wanted to double check something that we'd seen, and it turned out to be nothing.
Find another sample or anything?
No, it doesn't look like it's
No.
its nest.
No.
All right. Well, this place looks like a bust. I don't see anything.
Yeah. I accidentally spilled my Gatorade on the ground. I gotta go over there now. Bye. And I pick up my bottle and I just walk away.
I miss the
Oh.
sun.
Yeah, Chips, this place is dark.
Yeah, it is. Sure as dark.
Man, I sure do love UV radiation, heat, and/or extreme cold, and maybe electricity. I don't know just yet.
I could really go for any of the above right now.
Yes. Maybe some high acidic liquid.
No, we're done with this. We're tapped. This place is tapped. I'm happy to leave.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
I guess since we searched around and didn't find anything, I'm just gonna kind of shrug at everybody and then be like, all right, and then walk out the front.
All right, so as you step out as you kind of exit the building, there's a cop car in the parking lot waiting for you because you know you're inside knocking shelves over and creating a racket. The cops did get called, and it's an officer's got his arms crossed, like, well, what do you have to say for yourselves?
Is it the same cop that was at the was at the
Different cop,
site?
different cop. Don't worry about
Okay.
that. Yeah, different
Okay.
cop.
Thank goodness you're here, officer. Thank goodness. Have you seen a small brown dog about this big, pointy ears, long waggly tail? Last seen just kind of around this parking lot area. Our dog, we're supposed to watch it. He's the class pet. And last we saw him, he was right here just a minute ago. We've been looking all over this place.
He's kind of rubbing one of his eyes with his hand. He's like, between all the goddamn dog complaints, the HCE cleanup, and that one woman that won't stop complaining about the weird sounds coming from the old rec center. No, I've not seen your goddamn dog.
Right as he finishes saying that, I break another window and come through that one out of the building.
Oh no.
Just looks at you. Ronnie.
Sheriff?
Ronnie.
Oh no.
Sheriff?
Ronnie.
Sheriff?
Well, the dog wasn't in the window. Ronnie figured that one out.
Gotta check everything.
Yeah, good one, Ronnie. Thanks for looking there. That was really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Hey.
a real big fire hazard back in there. We're just airing it out just in case,
You said there's a lot of weird noises coming from the rec center?
Yeah, a bunch of complaints about it. It's probably just the... Kind of looks at Ronnie. Probably just the local teens breaking in to drink beer.
I don't
Why
know
is
what
there
you're
beer at
talking
the rec
about.
center?
Were the sounds like? Did they sound like a dog this size, waggly tail, pointy ears? Is that kind of the sounds?
Just kind of looks at you. He's like,
to Ginger Snap.
just kind of looks at you. He's like, I don't give a shit what your dog's named. Like, get the fuck out of that building. Like, what? We got kids
Sorry.
breaking into buildings. We got kids slap-shotting police cars. What the hell is this world coming to?
You know, you're using a lot of really rough language in front of a whole bunch of young, influential kids, and they're very impressionable.
Just points at Ronnie. No, if you know Ronnie, I'm saying nothing you haven't heard before.
Yeah, that language is kind of strong. What the fuck?
Cops getting actively angry as part of this. You guys want to try and bamboozle him out of this? You want to try and run?
Chips is groveling. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again,
All
sir.
right.
Sorry, sir.
Give me a group charm, I guess, on this one. Everyone roll a charm and see what you add up to on this.
All right.
I'm still working my missing pet angle, hoping he gives us mercy.
I got 1 success.
Ronnie got 2 successes.
I got no
We now
successes.
know Ronnie is known to the PD, but not in Juvie.
Tyson with 3 successes.
Nice.
Can I borrow someone's
Nice.
success, please?
We've got plenty.
That's more than enough successes to pass. You don't need to, this is nothing bad's coming out of this. So yeah, it's whether it's Ronnie's presence, the story of this missing dog, the fact that it's just kids being kids. It's the '80s. Yeah, you were breaking and entering, but some light breaking. You broke into an abandoned building. Okay, whatever. This guy's got better things to do. He's kind of just but he throws up his hands. He's just I don't have time for this. Ronnie goes back to his car. Just is go home. Stop being. Don't be delinquents. I don't care anymore.
That was too close, guys. We almost got in trouble.
Sheriff and I go way back.
Yeah, I bet.
We're fine.
So-
We should go check out that rec center, though. I mean, that sounded interesting.
Totally.
I'm gonna
Let's
pick
do
up. I'm gonna go pick up my bike, and then obviously I'm gonna signal to Tyson so they can use the pedals on my bike to mount up so we can take off.
Hey, Chips, you should take off that suit if we're going to be out in public.
Yeah.
Do you want me to help you with it?
You forgot about the suit. The fact the cop didn't have a reaction to it is my bad completely.
That's true.
No, it's fine, thank you. It's easier than taking it on and off all the time, so I'll just leave it on because we'll
You're
need
gonna,
it at
if
the next place.
HCE people see us, they're gonna be like, "Why is there a kid on a bike with an HCE suit?" We're gonna get.
It does say HCE across the back in big friendly corporate lettering. Yeah, it's
Big flashing light.
You gotta hide it here. I've got a backpack here.
Okay, I that is enough to convince me. Okay, and then very reluctantly taking it off, and I just leave it folded nicely on the floor.
sure.
All right.
You want
I
me
quickly
to put that
stuff
in
it
my
into the
gear
backpack.
bag? Oh, never mind.
All right, so
There
ready.
Bag. Okay, zip it back up.
All right, so you're off to the rec center now at this point? Like, is
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yep.
all right. Yeah, so maybe you've never been to it, but you're all familiar with the old rec center. It's where it's become the local teenage spot. It's a little bit outside of town. Like it had a pool. It was a nice spot until they built the new one. Then it kind of no need to have it keep on running, so they kind of closed it up. And officers being correct, teenagers do break in there to drink and just be teenagers in the 80s and whatnot. So it's a known location, if you will. And as you kind of get closer, the space does have a big kind of plywood and slat fence put up around it to keep people from getting into it, but there are gaps one could use to enter and whatnot. More importantly, though, now that you know what you're looking at or kind of what you're looking for, you do see the occasional kind of like partially absorbed thing. Like some of the cuts are too smooth on things. Like some of the like in the starting area around it, they have like a trash can where like it looks like it's dented in, but actually like just like a third of it's missing or something like that. Like there are telltale signs of stuff having, for lack of a phrase, a bite taken out of it. Might be the spooky way of phrasing this, but yeah. So definitely stuff around the old rec center.
What time is it now?
So it's probably getting close to around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. at this point.
Gotcha. And this is Oregon, so the sun sets a little later than what I'm used to. Cool. I'm just more worried about like the amount of light we still have.
Mm.
So,
'cause then that
so just to
Would I ever work a timing mechanic of some kind into one of these games we play that if you don't pay attention to comes back to bite you? No, I would never do that.
what time of year is it? Is it like summer?
It's summer.
Summer, yeah.
It's summer? Okay. So if it makes you feel better, summer's in Portland here. The sun will set sometimes around like 8:30, 9 p.m.
Yeah, it goes late.
It goes late. Makes you feel better.
Cool.
Yeah, according to my research, 10 p.m. is our sunset on the Oregon coast.
I just don't want to be a kid caught out after dark.
Respectable.
I will say
strategy.
the one asterisk to this is that it's not like it stays bright out. You have this like crazy long sunset period. Like it's not like high noon extra long. You have like 3 hour long sunset.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's maybe not the best lighting, but still definitely lit outside.
Yeah.
But the UV index drops.
Yeah. That's also assuming you don't have tree line blocking your sunlight, because
Yeah, there's a variety of things that get in the way of it pretty quickly. Like it's a part of the reason that like if you're kind of in the middle of the country or in a more mountainous area, it's just stuff gets in the way. Like part of the joy of Oregon is the fact that a bunch of chunks of it are like, yeah, it's just trees for as far as you can see.
While we were biking and everything else like that over here, I was like looking at Tyson. Is he like doing all right out in the sun?
Yeah, I mean, Tyson looks like he always does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's doing better. Cool. Hmm.
We're gonna turn it into the thing. This is. Did any
This
of you
is-
know him before the before the thing?
We're all kind of there, just participating in some
Yeah.
public service.
Yeah. Well, so you gotta try and enter the rec center tonight, or you gonna wait till a fresh sun, for lack of a better phrase?
No. I think we still have some time. We're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But definitely, guys, we should probably make this quick. We don't want to get caught out with that blob at sunset, or just when it's like super late at night or when it's dark.
Cool. And this
Sasha's
this
still
place
here.
is closed and far enough away from town that I can give the suit back now, and it's not.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be-
absolutely. Yeah, there's
Okay.
no one's randomly passerbying this kind of thing. Yeah, you're fine.
All right. So yeah, I give the suit back to Chips. Here you go.
Okay, thank you. Maybe somebody else should wear it because we're doing a different thing now. We'll see. Let's formulate a plan first, maybe, and then we'll go from there.
Now let's just go. Come on. Why are we doing all this planning? We don't got time. Let's go.
Just use the gloves. We'll worry about it later.
Fine.
James, you want the suit?
Yeah, no, I don't need that.
Cool. Then I put it on.
Let's go.
All right.
All right.
So let's pause for a second. Let's do our Tales from the Loop PDF giveaway now, because this is a good time to get into that stuff. Give people a couple minutes to put if you want entrance into that. But if not, Alex, get the wheel set up and we'll spin it.
Okay, let me go ahead and.
We don't have a ton of participants, I don't think, but
We don't have a lot actually.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense there. Wheel of Games. So basically, our entries right now are the anonymous donation, and is it who else? Randy? Randy has actually, we also have a Robert who entered, donated back in January, so we'll make sure to do that. So I'm gonna put Robert. I'm gonna put anonymous donor.
Yep.
And who's our third one here? Randy? Yeah, Randy.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen real quick so everybody can see.
Sure.
it.
Spin the wheel.
Gotta share the screen first so we're all on the up and up.
Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn.
There we go. And it actually
Show us
puts
the
itself
left.
nicely on the there. You guys can see the wheel, right? It's on the top left there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got Robert, anonymous donor, and Randy.
Spin it.
Spinning. And it looks like our winner is going to be Robert, one of the first donors to the page back in January.
All right.
Well, that's
Awesome.
Congratulations, Robert.
And
Indeed.
what does Robert win?
He wins the PDF of the Tales from the Loop core rulebook.
Excellent.
Wow. I'm jealous after having played it. That's good.
And I guess on that same topic, this is not us promoting them necessarily, but the Free League summer sale is happening. It's kind of happened to line up by freak accident of convenience. But yeah, they're like 50% off most of their stuff right now. So if you like this game and you didn't win that and you want to pick something up, they got stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
The art for this game is also absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, is that the company that does the Coriolis stuff?
Yeah, among other things. Yeah, it's
okay.
Free League. It's I guess they do Coriolis, Sumbarum, which we played on Negative Modifier a while back, Mutant Year Zero, Twilight 2000. What's it called? Forbidden Lands. I'm forgetting a couple in that one. Tales from the Flood, which is kind of the sequel to Tales from the Loop. Alien, that's also them, and Coriolis, which we'll actually play some of in the near future. We've already started recording that. So if I got forgetting one, that's an important one not to forget. They put up the Blade Runner Kickstarter ended a couple of weeks ago now, and that's them too.
Also, just to add, we got another $5 anonymous donation to the incentive. Woo! GM plays dirty. The GM can force a reroll at any time on any player.
Oh boy.
I'm not forgetting I have my auto fail going as well.
That's true.
That's true.
So yeah.
Wait, I thought the auto fail was the Betamax version of the blob.
It was.
No. Was it?
Yeah, because that's the stipulation they wrote, was that I couldn't find a VHS of it.
Fine.
You do have the auto force reroll.
That's fair, and I do know it's coming up, and I'll probably get a chance with that reroll real soon.
Ominous.
Yes, that's the intent.
I'm gonna run.
So I was gonna say, as part of this, like, we want to take a couple minutes break just to give people a bio break and whatnot.
Yeah.
So let's say you're in Vamp and whatnot. Yeah.
That sounds like a good break time and whatnot.
Yep. We'll be back in a few minutes. Probably give us 5 or so. We'll leave the stream up. You got our "we'll be back in a minute or two" thing ready to go?
Actually, I don't think it ever showed up. Let me.
It should be.
Stream today. Right?
I can hang out and talk to people for a couple minutes.
I don't see anything in the channel about like be right back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I see it now. It showed up in a different
All right.
location. Yeah.
right.
Well, we can chat a little bit, and then when I get it queued up. So.
Yeah. No.
But yes. So I guess since we're here, we are playing for Extra Life. It's a nonprofit
Yep.
organization that raises money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the United States and Canada, Puerto Rico, a few other places. That's actually how I met Charlie.
That's. Yep.
So that was a fun little.
Way back when. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was how many years?
Don't
now?
think about it too hard. It was a while ago. It's around 7 years at this point.
Wow, has it been 7 years?
Yes. Yes, it has.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. But yeah, Charlie and I met, and then we were originally doing more video game stuff, but then obviously with the pandemic becoming a thing, you kind of started to wander into the tabletop realm a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun, actually.
No, I guess let's talk about Extra Life as a company, or as a thing overall. Like, do you want to get more engaged in that aspect? And they do these guilds that are located in various cities that are kind of more tapped into the various hospitals. Like, that's how Alex met. We actually met through the Los Angeles Guild back when we both lived in the same city. And yeah, it's a fun little outreach organization that way. Like, it's kind of more aimed at making sure people sign up for it and have the resources for it and stuff like that than what we're doing right now. But yeah, it's fun. It's how we met.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. We might get through an entire Tales from the Loop game, actually. Not from last time. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but... Yeah. Other people are having fun.
Yeah. Oh,
if people are curious, I will explain the Delta Greenness of this all at the end, or what could have happened if Delta Green had shown up, because it's quite different. But not also that different. It's still the same thing. Actually, no, I'm kind of curious, the people we've watching in chat, like, what do you think the Delta Green version of our critter is? Because it's definitely a thing. I actually wrote the Delta Green part of this first, and we worked backwards from it.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me...
Dead air, the worst thing. We deal with our technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the BRB clip.
That's fine if we can't get to work.
That's no story.
Shit happens.
All right, I've got it ready to go here now, so I will go ahead and...
Cool, if you could pop that up, that'd be awesome.
Yep, so we will be right back, folks, in a few minutes. back.
Hello.
We're back.
Hi.
Yeah. All right. So you are in the process of breaking and entering into this old rec center. Fair enough. Yeah. So no one's around to observe you, so you can kind of move relatively unimpeded, you don't have to be sneaky at all through this. And once you're kind of past the fence, you do see all the telltale signs of this is the local team hangout spot. A couple kind of like remnants of some fires at one point from way back. It's graffiti, spray paint, probably a stolen couch from somewhere at one point or another. They have gone through the process of busting into the old rec center for you, though. They've managed to pull some of the window stuff out so you can get through. Some of the windows were smashed in. There are several kind of easy options to enter. And I guess as you're walking around this place, the rec center is a brick building that was what you'd assume the normal rec center was. It had various rooms inside of it based on the new one. It also had a pool kind of off to the right of the building. If you're looking at it from the street, there's a large glass ceiling pool that either it's time or whatever, kind of it's fogged up and molded over and just decade of neglect will do that to a glass building type of thing. It's overgrown with lots of stuff. But yeah. Where are you going?
Take your pick. We got many ways to go in. A lot of them my handiwork.
Yeah, Ronnie's definitely been here before.
I can't even see in this thing. I unzip the hood and pull the hood back. I'm like,
With difficulty.
yeah, it smells like Doritos. Were you eating Doritos today?
Just Lay's actually.
Oh, well, why don't we go over there? And I point toward one of the holes that's in into the main plaza of the building.
I need a sledgehammer for that one.
I mean, I could just skate at it real hard. I've got my pads on.
No, it's open. I needed a sledgehammer to open it up. That one.
Oh, I got you. You. Okay. I was gonna say I don't really have a sledgehammer, but I got, which is kind of close.
Yeah, I stole Dad's and then gave it away to some dude who was just driving by.
How come I'm the one who always gets in trouble?
You just don't get caught.
Just give it up.
Damn it, Ronnie. Okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, seems like the easiest.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
I'll follow behind
Okay.
Ronnie.
All right. So you going into the actual rec center itself, or just grab into the area around the rec center?
I think we're going into the rec center proper.
Yeah. So you're going, and inside the rec center is about what you'd expect. It's a building that's been neglected for about a decade. It's got that nice layer of dust, or it should have that nice layer of dust on everything that you'd come to expect. There are kind of trails of something maybe slithering around the space or something along those lines. It's weird though. Whatever. Okay, you guys have dealt with this goop thing enough. You have understand each stuff. It definitely has a preference for metal and other kind of sturdier materials. It's left most of the other plastics in the space alone. It doesn't seem to really care about books, but what one might refer to as kind of traditional construction supplies. It's gone after those. It is also also in weirder kind of category. There are splotches of the dried out kind of latex paint and stuff all over the space. Some of them times are on walls, sometimes they're on the floor, but they're always kind of near maybe a pipe busting or something like that. There's something busted out of the wall or something along those lines.
Hey Ronnie, it looks like it doesn't like books. Maybe you have more in common with this slime than the rest of us.
I will hit you.
That sounds like something the slime would say.
Is there a kind of concentration as to or a
Nah.
spot? All right, but it's close.
No, but I will say that you could try and follow the dust trails. It has left kind of drag lines in the dust you could try and follow.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Do they convert? Is there a higher concentration, or do they converge somewhere?
Are you following them? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, I mean, I sure as heck will.
Yeah, so yeah, if you kind of follow a couple of new druids, they kind of eventually converge, and you can double back a few times to confirm this. They do appear to all eventually be going to the pool. Or the pool room, if you will. Yeah, it's kind of, it ends at the pool room door.
Now, when you say pool, do you mean like table pool or like swimming?
I mean, like
pool?
an Olympic, like a swimming pool.
Okay, I'm glad I asked because I was assuming table pool for a second, but yes, okay.
And the door's just kind of smoky, and there's just some guy like running game on a pool stick. Like this, like the trick is to hit the 8-ball last.
All right, so
Or snooker, as our guest might call it.
Yeah.
I've got the suit on. I'll open the door. I put the hood on, zip it up, and I try and open the door into the pool
Yep.
area.
Door's not locked. It kind of swings in pretty easily, and so it's kind of hard to see inside. So between just mold, dust, neglect, maybe some type of like treatment on the glass, the room is lit, but kind of it's got that like dark, kind of like almost amber glow from this. It's not well lit, and you step inside, and there's definitely more of the splotches of the goop on the ground. But again, no obvious kind of mass of it.
Gotcha. How old are the splotches? Are they kind
Dried?
of? They're dried. All right.
Oh, if this is its nest, it's probably out hunting right now.
Maybe we should set a trap.
Fire?
Oh,
Okay, maybe not fire. Does the building still have electricity?
Go check. Yeah, you're trying to check to see if it has electricity.
I'll.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see if we can kind of flip any switches or anything else like that.
I'm gonna assist with looking for a switch to flip up and down and see if anything happens. Are you doing investigate?
This one's, yeah.
Okay. 2
and
successes.
I'll look for a breaker as well.
Yeah, so this one does, that makes a certain amount of sense since it's kind of a public work. They're not quite so up on people that are kind of like, it's not public, it's not government property, which in this case is this type of thing. It's got power, it's not great though, like it's definitely, reality is most of the lights are busted, like it is a building, maybe they kept the power on to keep it shown and stuff like that, but so as you're walking around, you realize that, so what you thought was just the pool having like no deep end is actually the deep end is filled in with a cement-like mixture.
Oh.
Oh. Oh no.
What?
Um.
Can I toss my dog collar on a rope into the mixture and see what happens?
Oh yeah.
All right, I throw the jingly dog collar and its length of rope
Alright,
down
so
into the.
it hits the liquid and then like slowly starts sinking, and then faster and faster, and the rope starts getting yanked at you. Like it's moving fast all of a sudden. Like, this thing's getting pulled in, and you're starting to see kind of. It's not so much pulling it; it's like it's slowly kind of starting to reach up the rope, following it, type of thing. Like it's starting to kind of flow up the rope ever so slowly. What do you do?
I throw the rest of the rope in. I don't want to hold on to it anymore.
Sure. No, as you're kind of realizing that this deep end is full of this gray goop, you kind of see from some type of pipe above, maybe the sprinkler system, just a big chunk of the scoop pour itself out of a crack in the pipe and just fall into the rest of the mass in the pool.
This is the mothership, as it were.
It's in the pipes. I mean, it could come from anywhere.
Well, if this is like the main one, let's take this one out. And so I start to look for. Is there an extension cord anywhere nearby?
Nah, the space is pretty much clean of that type of stuff. Also, it's a pool. Who would leave an extension cord near a pool?
Well, can I check the other rooms for an extension cord?
Sure, yeah, you can run around some if you want, investigate.
Okay.
Hey, I could skate around real quick. I can go find hopefully something. You can kind of help out with maybe trying to figure out how to deal with this. I think I'll be safe without this pole. Besides, I'm the best roller skater in this entire town. I would like to use my pride to search for an extension cord or for any kind of thing.
Works for me. Yeah, so you do find several extension cables. Like you cut to some kind of cool montage of how do I phrase it? Beck just kind of like jumping over like turned over desks and like wall skating for a couple feet to find stuff. Like it's needlessly at this point in the movie, for lack of a better phrase. But yeah, it's a cool break and whatnot. So yeah, you come back with like 4 or 5 extension cables.
Slightly out of breath, just
Yep.
found some.
Okay, so I grab the cords and start daisy chaining them so that one end is near an outlet in another room, and the other end we're gonna throw into the pool, and then we're gonna plug it in.
All right.
So I explain the plan to the group and say, okay, hey, so this is what we're gonna do. One end, somebody will be on standby to plug in this outlet. The rest of us, we're gonna kind of just maneuver this into that pool, throw it in there. Once it has grip, we plug the outlet in and let the building take care of the rest.
Sounds like a plan.
And then I look over at Ronnie and say, just in case this doesn't work, and I flip over my backpack and I hand over the bottle of alcohol with the towels and the box of matches and say, if that doesn't work, you're part 2.
Nope. Sit. Nope. And then, as a sibling, I will step in between that, grab the bag, and give it to Chips. Ronnie, I love you, but this is Plan B. B comes after A.
I know. I was just gonna get it set up just in case.
Okay. But Chips is gonna have the bag, and we're gonna help Chips set this up. You're gonna help James. Yeah?
All right.
So while they're working that out, I'm like maneuvering the daisy chain cable around to make sure we find an outlet. And so the cord's pretty much all laid out. So who wants to be, I guess I turn back to the group and say, all right, who's plugging in the outlet?
I think we just got a donation while once we get done through this too.
Oh, whoa, we did. Hold on, let me check. 25.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, $25 from Travis Dunbar. Thank you. I want to make sure I said that right. Yeah. No incentive claim though, but still, I appreciate the donation for sure.
He knows it's too close to the wire. There's too much on the line.
All right, so I look over at everybody. Actually, while this is all kind of going on, is the goop doing anything in the pool, or is it just kind of hanging out there?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay.
My favorite word.
Yep. Okay,
I'll
so
plug it in if you guys want. I've got my sunglasses to protect me.
Let me make it worse, actually. Not that you can see.
okay, cool. So then, yeah, I will. I'm gonna signal everybody. Okay, are we all in position? You guys figure out the whole part B or plan B situation.
What did we sort with the plan B? Was that the fireworks or the Molotovs, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
The kids wouldn't know they're called Molotovs, that's why I haven't said it. But yes.
Yeah.
Molotovs, Kalashnikovs. Yeah, got it all.
Awfully Russian of you for the 80s.
I don't want anything to do with the fire. I'll do the electricity.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I give Tyson my little gizmo battery pack and just say, if anything comes close, or when the time is right, just press this button and jab it at the goo. And
hey, thanks.
I'll have the other bits. Quite all right.
Hey, Chips, I know I give you a hard time in school and stuff, but you're pretty cool.
Oh, thanks. You're pretty cool too. We should, providing this goes well, we should, you can come round.
Yeah.
You can see the keyboard, what I did with the keyboard.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like that.
Aw.
All right. And then Tyson heads over to his station with the outlet.
All right. So while everyone's got in position, I'm going to go ahead and volunteer to be the one to throw the cord and make sure I can bait it. So I will stand near the pool. I'll look over everybody else and kind of just do the nod, like, ready?
Cool. I'm going to be behind James, holding on to him, just in case. Actually, I'm gonna take my skates off and be behind Shane, holding on to him, just in case something tries to grab him. So I have you on, like, I'm grabbing the back of your battle vest right now.
Ronnie is like kind of standing off to the sides, like doing the little look over his sunglasses thing with an unlit cigarette in his mouth.
Where did you get that?
Don't worry about it. Do you want one?
Are you a narc?
Do you want one?
No. I already got my weight class. I'm good. I don't need any more.
Okay. He lights a match.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the end of the extension cord that's like exposed, throw it at the goop, if you will. Do I need to do any kind of like roll for that? No.
This is tossing you're tossing a cable into a large empty area. That's pretty doable in my book.
Okay, that's fair. Cool. So, for the lack of a better word, yeet. But obviously that's not a phrase in that time, so that's just for me. All right, so
is the cable plugged in yet or no?
Not yet. No, I'm waiting for. So I'm basically watching the cable to see if it starts to get grabbed by the goop.
Point of question on this one.
Uh-huh.
You're just tossing an extension cable into the goop. You didn't tamper with the extension cable or anything like that?
Well, it's the exposed part, I said. Because technically, since it's liquidy, the socket parts would get filled in.
Yeah, okay,
correct?
yeah.
So.
And Tyson waits for the signal, holding his end ready to plug in.
Okay, so any activity from the large matter thing in the pool?
All right, so just to clarify, plug's plugged in, plug is in the goop.
Not plugged in yet. We're waiting for it. So the plan is we're waiting for it to grab.
That's what I'm clarifying. All right, so plug hits it, it starts trying to pull on the plug. It starts kind of like slowly creeping up the plug as well.
Okay. Plug it in!
I plug it in.
All right, so you plug it in. Maybe it feels like hours pass. Maybe it's only a couple seconds. Who's to tell on this one? But kind of you see very suddenly, kind of around roughly where the plug should be, the stuff start to bubble. And then it retracts out around the extension cable and just starts to kind of slowly ooze its way up outside of the pool, very much kind of making a wide berth around where the extension cable dangles down into the pool. It is slowly kind of spilling up over the outside edge of the pool, slowly making its way towards you.
Plan B. I'll throw the lit thing in between us to push it back towards the electricity cable.
Ronnie, you're up!
Give me a force.
Do I
As they
need
start
to?
throwing the stuff in? Oh, sorry.
Do I need a force or
Whoever's
is this Ronnie?
tossing it, give me a force.
Oh, that's Ronnie.
I'm throwing something. I will also give the bag of flammable stuff to Ronnie. At this point, I'm scared. So
He's probably the expert, yeah.
Scorched earth. But I had one of the the bottles of thing, and I'll throw that in as well.
While they're throwing the stuff in, I want to put on my skates because I'm gonna help Tyson get out of there as the fire starts coming in. So I'm like his little. I'm gonna try to skate him out of there.
Sure.
0 successes, but I'm going to use my luck if that's all right.
All right, let's see that reroll.
Also 0 successes.
All right, so you're gonna be scared. So we're gonna get our first condition of this. You're gonna take scared. You're just gonna check condition. You're gonna check the scared condition and this of. The plan has gone to shit. This thing is pouring up out of itself. It's coming for you. You saw it eat a dog, and what is a kid if not a dog that's not a dog at that point? Like, we're at the point of the horror movie where the monster goes on the offensive. It's no longer just a pool of goo in the basement of a rec center. It's done playing your game, if you will. So, yeah. Maybe it's nerves. Maybe it's you've never tossed an explosive before. Who knows? Normal 14-year-old explanations for why this doesn't work. But yeah, like it hits it and just doesn't quite do what it's supposed to type of thing. Or maybe it misses. But yeah, so it hears the sound and this thing starts to move even faster at you.
So
It's gone from surprised and annoyed to mildly aggressive. What do you all do?
So when the bag is tossed at Ronnie, he catches it with one hand with the cigarette still in his mouth. And I'm gonna use my pride, which is I can make anything burn. And he's gonna reach into the bag.
Such a specific pride.
He's gonna reach into the bag and pull out a Molotov and light it with his cigarette, and then just toss it straight into the middle of this thing.
Good plan. All right, so that, because pride was used, does indeed auto work, and just kind of the bag erupts, the various accelerants go everywhere, and you start to see kind of the mass of this thing cook and crack where the fires go. You also see it kind of start detaching itself from parts that are on fire. The heat is definitely causing it problems, but there is enough of it that's kind of separated that it's still coming at you. We'll say like you've managed to cut about a third of it away, and now you've got kind of a large 20, 30 foot, kind of by like 3 foot deep volume of this stuff slowly just oozing across the ground at you.
I'm gonna be like, now that there's the giant fire situation happening, I'm gonna try to, or I should ideally have my skates on. I'm
Sure.
gonna try to skate Tyson out of there because I don't think Tyson's super excited that there's a giant fire now in the
No,
middle of this room.
he is pale white, just beads of sweat coming up. He's just not even like, his eyes have a distant look. There's just something that's just really off-putting to him about this whole thing. Maybe the fire is bothering him even more than the giant slime.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna get him on my back and I'm gonna roller skate him to safety.
While this is going on, I'm gonna head towards Ronnie and find if there's any other still fire items we have that we can try to use on this thing. So I'll dig to the bag. I know we had the one bottle that I already went through, but do we have any others? Like, I look over at Ronnie.
Had the squirty one that Tyson had made.
Oh,
It was
that's
like-
right.
Would you like to burn your one of your auto successes for a hint?
Nah.
Mm.
I'm not joking.
As I'm skating Tyson out of the room, I want to yell, "Use the hockey sticks! They're flammable!"
I look over at Ronnie and like light him up, and I like grab my stick. I'm like, "Here you go."
Yeah. What are you handing him? The
The end of the hockey stick, just to set it on
yeah,
fire.
He will like light up the hockey stick.
All right. And so after it's lit up, I'm going to grab the hockey stick and I'm going to, for lack of a better, I guess situation, charge at this thing and swing the flaming part of the hockey stick at it.
Yeah, so it kind of recoils from that. Like it hits it. Give me a force to see how well you do this, I guess. It's a large object, so I'll give you a +1 on it even too. Like you're swinging at a large mass. Easy enough to do.
1 success.
Yes, you kind of hit into that, and more of it goes up, and like I'm sure I'm not saying you're like keeping the fire on it, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah, I'm basically just kind of like beating at it with the flamey part.
Yeah. So it is fairly flammable when you touch it. So enough of its mass is on fire. The room's starting to fill with this kind of horrible tire smell or tire fire smell. It's kind of smoking out, and just more and more black smoke's going in. You're not quite sure when it happens, but eventually the fire alarm kicks off on this space. Like, it's one of the few things that still work. And the sprinkler system kicks on. And just the horrible, stagnant water just rains down on you. It's the constant flood of this stuff starts to kind of dilute this thing into more and more just kind of a liquid of some kind, to eventually it kind of all flows back and then down the drainage system of the pool, out of sight. But again, it's just full of black, horrible, electric fire smelling smoke in the room with you as well.
Fire safety.
Okay, am I in a weird condition because of all the smoke in there? I mean, I was technically closest to it.
Nah, you're fine. Like it's low enough to the ground. It smells horrible, but also now there's a bunch of alarms going off, and
Okay.
people will notice that.
All right. Well, I kind of just turn around and say, "All right, let's get out.
All right, Servant, give me a move.
Let's get out of here."
This is a weird question. But since we're moving through thick smoke and that burns eyes and whatnot, can I use my sunglasses to make this easier?
They are not air seals.
Okay.
I don't think the translucent sunglasses work.
Not even
Yeah.
remotely.
All
Zero
those
success.
firefighters going into burning buildings are just Ray-Bans on there.
You
I will-
know, normal fighter equipment at that point.
I will spend a luck to reroll.
All right.
Are we all rolling moves, are we?
0.
I moved,
Yep.
yeah.
Everyone roll. Move.
Am I rolling for Tyson because I have him on my back?
Yeah, I got 0 successes,
yep.
but I'm also being carried, I suppose.
We also do have 2 auto passes, by the way. And 1 forced
use
reroll
one.
that Charlie can force on us.
I'm gonna use my luck, my one and only luck, to reroll my
All right.
my move.
And I think I rolled a 1, so I passed my check.
2 successes.
Nice.
If you guys don't mind, I'll use one of our auto successes.
That's fine. I'll subtract it from that, and then Charlie still has 1 force reroll on us.
I do.
I got 0, so if there's another one going around.
I will hand that to you, and now we've got 0 auto passes.
Yep.
Oh no, like I don't wanna auto
No,
pass.
it's fine. It's fun. It's all good. It's part of
Part
the
of
fun.
the fun.
I mean, the cost of failure on this one's pretty low too. It's just 1 condition.
Yeah.
So before I extricate myself from the building, Charlie, I've been here before. In the kitchen,
Yeah.
do they have any of any propane tanks left over? Any?
No, that stuff's been long moved out. Like that type of stuff they wouldn't leave around for safety purposes.
Just making sure.
All right, so we I guess that's all of our moves right there. So
Yep. I think everyone, by measure of donation successes and whatnot, you all kind of make it out. So, okay, you kind of bust outside. The police department's starting to roll up at this point. Like, it looks suspicious as hell. You have 5 kids just kind of stumble out of an apparently on-fire building. There's just black smoke billowing out of kind of any roof hole it can find. Smells terrible. Like, it's not a great look. Do you stay? Do you try and get away? What's the plan?
well, are the cops already there, or are they on their way?
Yet. You can hear sirens, though.
Use it.
Get out of here, guys. I'll take care of this.
Rodney's so cool. I can't help myself on this. I'll stay with Rodney.
All right.
I gotta get Tyson out of here and make sure he's fine. I'm gonna skate away to safety.
All right. All right, so those of you leaving, give me a move. See how kind of effectively you get away from this.
All right.
2 successes on my move with Tyson on my back.
And Tyson gets 0 successes.
Why do you have bonus 3? That doesn't matter.
Because I have
Because it's skates.
Yeah, I forgot.
Skates.
I forgot.
yeah,
Yep. You gotta give one of the successes to Tyson.
absolutely. Yeah. And then what is hold up.
I'm sticking around,
Why am I-
so
Chips. Are you Chips? Are you sticking
Yeah,
around?
I'm scared. So at this point, I want the authorities to turn up to help get me home.
Are you staying behind not to do the cool thing but because you think that will staying
Yeah.
behind is the right thing to do? Okay, cool.
I'm
So
like the antithesis of Ronnie is
Tyson, Beck, you kind of hightail it out of there. You find some hole in the fence and get out. So that leaves Tyson, that leaves Beck, Chips, and Ronnie. So yeah, fire department shows up. They kind of run inside as fast as possible. You kind of hoses are run, water sprayed everywhere. No one's paying any attention to you yet, but someone definitely does yell at you, don't go anywhere. Once the fire department establishes there's no active fire inside anymore, they come back out and they're like, whoa. Just look at Ronnie. Ronnie. Trying to burn down another building, huh, Ronnie? We're trying to burn down a building finally? You have to have a talk with your parents again about this?
Look, you know that if I wanted the building to burn, it would have burned. Wasn't me.
I look over at the marshal and say, do you want the truth, or do you want the truth?
The guy looks at you, he's like, I'm sorry, it's 3 teenagers in a abandoned building. What the hell's the truth you're talking about?
Okay, so you're not going to believe this, but there was this giant monster in the pool, right? And it has a thing where it doesn't like fire, and we're trying to stop it because it's eating all the animals in the town. So we set it on fire, but then the extinguisher things went on, so we couldn't really do anything about it. So to be fair, we were trying to save the town, so in a way, we're kind of heroes.
The guy just kind of looks at you like, the hell are you talking about? Like, just like, do I look like an idiot? Like, no, it was the monster that lit the abandoned rec center on fire, not us, the kids. And so he goes, okay, I'll call the cops. You can take this up with them, and kind of, as we pan up kind of from the scene, like it's, see two kids hightailing their way away from this, kind of, Ronnie's standing there looking smug, Chips is probably looking a little bit confused, Becca's like, no, it was a monster, obviously. We kind of like slowly zoom out, more tree line shows up, and
Beck or James?
maybe off it.
There's like
It was, well, my character is James. Beck took off on the escape.
Sorry, yes. My bad.
Yeah, there's a scene like as it's panning out while the marshal's talking to us. Ronnie pulls out another cigarette and the dude slaps it out of his hand.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That will do it.
I think that was a great success.
Yeah.
That's good.
All things considered.
I'm sad that I missed like half of it.
I know,
Yeah.
it's so gnarly your power went out on that. That sucks.
It was
It's
so
a
crazy. I thought
A
that it
negative
was-
modifier extra life stream as weird technical issues happen. Never! Not a reoccurring theme or anything.
Okay, so I guess now that that's the story. Can we ask some questions about the story?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we're done. We'll do another giveaway, probably. Well, not probably. We'll do another giveaway in a few minutes. So if you've been watching this and want to donate to get into that, go nuts. Now is your time. But yes, now is question time, both players and chat. If you got questions about what could have gone wrong, if you want to ask about the delta greenness of this, do all the notes for that as well. What do people want to know?
What? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what was the hint you were gonna go offer us at the end there?
So I mentioned this when I first showed up. The room around the pool is glass. You could have broken the glass and let the sun get at it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Wise.
Hmm.
But we set it on fire.
We did the right thing.
Okay, so because you have an image that you prompted me for the Delta Green version of this, I'm going to show that now on the stream. If you want to pull it up for the players so they can see what it was.
I can do that.
Let me go ahead.
So if you go to the jump into the Delta Green game, guys, and I will show you what this thing is.
So for those of you watching the stream, if you look all the way on the corner, that's the Delta Green version of the goop.
Oh,
Got eyes and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Chips is pointing at it right there.
You really decided to like find whatever had a million extra eyes and just throw it in there just for Alex, huh?
I feel like that's personal, Charlie. The many eyes thing.
I don't make up what a Shoggoth is. A Shoggoth is a Shoggoth. Like I didn't come up with that. I just know what a Shoggoth is, and therefore it's like two crossover pretty well. Yeah. So when you look at this, this was a Shoggoth from the Delta Green perspective of things. The Lovecraftian horror known as Shoggoth, which again is essentially kind of living plastic.
Tyson have like some sort of personal history with fire? Like, is there some
Yes,
sort of
I
trauma
did.
response?
Go into that. That's pretty fun.
Yes. So I thought it was really funny that we kind of got this, everyone thought it was an invasion of the body snatchers type situation where I was compromised by the slime. But really, Tyson's aversion to fire comes from his history. He was kind of causing some mischief with his cronies. He's kind of a popular kid who has a little posse that runs with him. And they burned down an abandoned building on the edge of town once upon a time as part of their mischief. And then they got away with it. And really nobody knows who burned this building down. But one of the unintended consequences of this was somebody was squatting in the building and there was actually a fatality. So he
Oh.
accidentally killed someone just like a year ago, like the previous summer, and he's still racked with guilt over that, and it's like it makes him physically ill to be around fire. And one of the little hints was that he was collecting cigarettes, but he was never seen smoking or using a lighter or anything like that. He just wanted to look cool and have them as a prop. So, um, yeah. And anytime fire was like one of the solutions, he was just like, shut it down. I don't want anything to do with that.
Bad things happen.
Really interesting
kinda-
backstory on that. I like that.
I kind of picked it up as like some sort of like trauma response, but I didn't expect it to be like, oh, it's guilt. Not
Phobia.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was trauma the moment you threw up. Because I was like, yeah, if you're afraid of fire is one thing, but if you had like a deep-rooted trauma with it, that's throwing up is a very visceral, deep trauma reaction. So I was like, okay.
Indeed.
but believing your brand new friend is an alien goo vampire is such a fucking like 13, 14-year-old thing. I was like, I'm gonna roll and lean into this hard.
So
Great
it's
D&D movie.
well, so it's funny you actually brought that up because within kind of the realm of Tales from the Loop, there's only so much I can do. If we jumped over to Delta Green, it can do that.
Of course. Why wouldn't it
Yeah.
be able to?
Yeah. And plus, since I'd touched the goo and I knew there was an index of suspicion, I never wanted to do anything that would completely like absolve the possibility that Tyson was compromised. So it was kind of fun playing with the suspicion too.
I appreciate the I'm just listening. I'm like, did I put my notes up by accident? 'Cause it's like power. It's like things the gray goo can do in Tales from the Loop. Things like only a few things. Things the gray goo can do in Delta Green. Infect people. Meat puppet.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think I have any other
Yeah.
questions as far as I know. Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, we could do our giveaway and then obviously give shout outs and thank you to
Yeah.
our guests who are here.
Could
I
we
do
have
have one
saved
little-
the dog? Could we have saved Molly?
Oh, that's a good
Was
one.
was that a possibility?
Molly's alive. I mean, Puddles?
Sorry, Puddles, yeah.
No, Puddles is part of the goop at that point. Yeah, I guess like so one of the kind of clues you guys did not track down was there was the scientist that was mentioned, and this is kind of more for the Delta Green lead-in of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he is hiding out in a cabin, and he can give you the whole story of this stuff. Like basically, it's the kid version. Basically, is that like, yeah, we have this lab experiment that like we were building a construction polymer that basically was designed to be self-replicating, and we found out that like it'll just eat whatever you put it in, so you have to kind of keep it contained appropriately. The Delta Green version is a confession of, yeah, it ate a lab assistant, and it's been acting strange ever since then, and the implication that the more meat it eats, the smarter it gets.
Oh no.
So it ate a lab assistant and then a golden retriever.
It ate a lab assistant, and now it's smart enough to get out, and now it's been just kind of adding smarts over time type of thing.
Ah.
Yeah, I guess like one of the things you guys could have done as well is that if you'd the masses you kept finding, if you'd soaked that in water, it would have come back to life, and it could have it would have tried to have gone back to the main mass at that point. So the stuff you encountered wasn't even the main mass; it was just kind of the scout of it, where it's like it's smart enough to know, hey, I can't send my half a swimming pool volume out into town without people being like, what's with this weird gray stuff that's coming at us constantly? So it's smart enough to go, yeah, something like the size of a trash bag, that can go out there and be inconspicuous and gather materials and make this thing bigger and bigger.
And I have one last quick question for Charlie.
Sure.
Whenever we went up to the crash site, if we did had a more diplomatic approach at that point, was there more information to be gleaned, or did we kind of like by stealing stuff accomplish what we could have accomplished with words?
Yes and no. You could have gotten the scientist name from that potentially, and hints to where he's holed up type of thing. That those came some of that because the guys we've been talking about kind of where he's been hiding, and they're trying to find him because he's. So the Delta Green lead for this basically is like, well, we have this whistleblower who's concerned about a lab experiment that got out from that good old HCE facility. And we're sending in some Delta Green agents because, well, it's got a taste for human flesh. They've been kind of basically been like, yeah, so I can't believe I'm stuck on cleanup duty when the containment team's out at, this location out in the woods trying to find the scientist at his cabin type of thing. Yeah, it's not much more. Like, you could have also gotten the location of the junkyard that the truck that was holding the stuff is in. And that would have been the hint towards how much of this stuff there was. It's like, no, it's a full, like, gas truck's worth of this liquid went somewhere. It's not the trash bag size thing you've been seeing. It's like 500 gallons of this stuff, not like 50.
Totally makes sense, because it wasn't just like one golden retriever that went missing. It was like all of the forest wildlife plus the Saint Bernard plus it's like this garbage bag sized monster couldn't possibly be responsible for all this havoc.
Or maybe it was that, but it's making deposits back at it. Yeah, it's one of those ones where enough stuff's being consumed that, like, you'd have found other signs of it, too. Like, the kind of idea was that, like, the implications are just how much of it, where it's like, okay, killing the garbage bag size, and that's pretty easy. That's, like, some vodka and some fire, some electrical stuff. It's like, oh, no, it's a swimming pool's worth of this stuff. We need some surface area. And the thing is much easier to defeat in Tales from the Loop than it is from Delta Green, because in Delta Green, Shoggoths have a ton of health.
Mm.
I enjoyed all of your characters. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Love me some Tales from the Loop. It's always fun.
I was doing the whole 80s cliche thing was really...
Oh, yeah.
I
was looking forward to, because basically, like, so, Leading for Delta Green basically is that they were following you at certain points. If we kind of ended that, it would have been like, how you follow? We're following the delinquent. It's easy to follow a delinquent.
I like this comical relationship that Ronnie has with authority, like the police and the marshal. They're just like, Ronnie? Ronnie's just like, officer or sheriff, marshal. Mm-hmm. Like,
we've had this conversation 1,000 times.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Gonna change your ways, Ronnie? No.
I've done nothing wrong, so I need to change nothing.
No, yeah, it's this may be kind of a thing I grew up with, where I knew some people where, like, you knew they'd done some dumb teenage shit, but, like, there's no way of proving it. It was like, yeah, no one died or was, like, horribly injured out of it. But yes, like, something dumb happened. It's like, we all know it was Pete, but we can't prove it's Pete, and, like, dedicating police resources to proving it's Pete isn't worth anyone's time. So it was like, officers, Pete.
Yeah. All right, should I set up the giveaway?
Yeah. So let's give people a couple more minutes. Our dear guests, kind of give us your spiel while we're getting that set up, and give people a few more minutes to jump into this, and then we will spin the wheel one last time to finish this out.
Cool. I do have I took, who was it that won our first one? You have it written down, right, Charlie?
I have it written down. Yeah, it was Robert.
Okay, Robert. Cool. So
I'll get in contact with him.
I'll pull Robert out of this one then, since they already won. So we'll have the people who have not won yet.
What do they stand to win?
Oh yeah, what's the prize on this one?
We are giving away a $20 Die Hard Dice gift card.
Awesome.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go for it.
All right, I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna share my screen here real quick. Everybody should be able to see it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Give me any last calls. I'm gonna refresh the Extra Life page one more time.
Yep.
All right, so locking this in now. And spin. Oh, and Randy! It's the day of our names.
Congrats.
Yep.
So Randy is our second winner, and we'll reach
be
out
in
to
touch.
you. Yep.
Awesome.
All right.
Randy.
So now that we've got that part taken away, I want to give a shout out to our special guest who joined us today. That was really cool. It was fun playing with you guys and all that.
Thank you so much.
If you guys want to plug the stuff you guys got going on, this is perfectly the time to do so.
Oh, sure. My name's Nick. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am the host of the Hidden GMs podcast, which is an interview show for game masters of all stripes. I've interviewed absolute beginners who ran their first epic campaign, all the way up to pro DMs and actual play hosts, including I have interviewed Charlie. He is slated to be in an episode in season 2, which is to be announced, but coming soon. So please check out Hidden GMs, and it's a lot of fun. You get to learn a lot about not just D&D 5th edition, but other systems. Hear people's stories, their time with the hobby, and if you have the tenacity to stick around through season 1 and check out season 2, you'll get to hear Charlie and hear his story.
Other
I guess,
guests.
yeah, I'll jump in. So I also have a podcast called Thinking Critically. The premise is it's a different discussion show with different guests each episode, and we take the gimmick is a single word or topic and discuss what that means in the D&D and wider TTRPG framework. So we've had all sorts of things that are categorized on the website. Canon just dropped last Friday, yesterday. But yeah, if you head to thinkingcritically.co.uk, Charlie's one of my episodes on horror. And I hope
Talk
to have
about horror on lots of podcasts, turns out.
yeah. And I hope to have all of you guys on now. I've just found like 4 more guests, so I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy to pop in sometime and all that. I like doing a podcast and all that stuff. Charlie got me hooked on doing the podcast thing, so yeah.
Yes, blame me for this.
If you're wondering about the spellings for their Twitter handles, it's next to the names on the stream there. So if you see right next over, you'll see at ThinkCritDND, and then for Nick we have at Hidden GMs. So make sure to drop them a follow. I dropped a follow on of both of you just now. So yeah. I think that's. Do we have anything else, Charlie? We want to plug?
We are Negative Modifier. We do a weekly actual play podcast that goes up on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed this Tales from the Loop thing we did, we play lots of other games. We are currently in the ending of our second kind of extended Delta Green season. It's episode's going up. It's called Hawthorne's Crusade. It's looking like it's going to be a full year's worth of Delta Green content. Yeah. We've got some short stuff planned for the near future, but more Delta Green to come after that, and other stuff along the way as well. We got a lot of stuff to listen to if you want. On anywhere podcasts are, YouTube, any place you can listen to it in audio only. But yeah, check it out if you enjoyed this.
Yeah. And that is, I think that's it for us. I am, of course, Alex, Mave Online. You can find me on Twitter. And of course, I am one of the regulars as part of Negative Modifier. We also have Dylan. Dylan goes by @Dylan1898 on Twitter. Give him a follow as well. That's another cast regular. And then, of course, we have Jad. Jadicus Finch is the Twitter handle. You can follow them as well. And of course, our GM, the man himself, Charlie, aka Mordak, but the Mordak is spelled with a 4 instead of an A.
I saw you gearing up to Mord 4K. I saw it.
I can't let it go, man. Mord 4K has been like their name to me for a long time, but Charlie, Charlie's our GM. He's a wonderful GM. He actually, I think Hawthorne's Crusade is an original story, right?
Yeah, same with J-Cell. Most of the stuff we do is original. This was original. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Most of the stuff we run is original because, well, I got the time to cook my own stuff and not need to consume a bunch of books that you can also run if you like the game we play. That was my logic. But yeah, no.
All right. I guess we covered all of our plugs, all the good jazz. But thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
If you're here, for those of you who
we will probably do a winter stream sometime around November, December, because these are fun and extra life donations and whatnot are a good thing to put money into. But yeah, we have some other charity stream plans percolating in the background as well. So look forward to that potentially. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all later.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
And for those of you who donated, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you especially.
If you won one of our contests, you'll be hearing from us.
I'll be in touch. Yeah, I'll be in touch.
All right. Later.
Goodbye.
Thank you.